Freemasons. Alex Jones here now. We did that last time.
Something in the water makes the frogs gay.
Drinking the water that makes the frogs gay. When I die, I'm gonna have a list of females, and my last dying request is that they pee on my grave. I'm dead. I don't care. But, it's things that I might not wanted to happen while I was living. I'm just saying, I'm gonna make a list of certain things. One of them, maybe, is that they pee on me when I'm dead.
My body kind of blends into the fucking background. If I didn't have all this fucking writing on there.
Yeah, just a floating head. Oh god. Well, what a start.
Oh yeah.
I know it. Goddamn knew it.
That's why he was so quiet.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I'm just drinking as well. Should I hide the label?
Nah,
So it could
don't matter.
sponsorship. We get this is ginger beer, like Brookvale Union, best ginger beer
Ever?
Yeah. But I did get told about another one that has a photo of a guy in a fairy suit on the front of it. So I do have to try it. That
A
ginger
fairy
beer.
suit? Ooh.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. I've got to find out again. But yeah.
Nice.
Well,
But yeah, I'm not drinking black and whiskey this time. I think things got a little bit too much last time
And
as I drank.
I guess. I don't know. It could be wild. It could not be wild.
I do have it still right next to me. I'm just saying.
I mean, I've got my bottle of Captain Morgan. I'll be drinking through mostly.
Ooh.
Depends on how much I drink tonight. We'll find out.
Gotta love some Captain Morgan.
But yep, we'll start it off with a nice, simple, slow intro. You're listening to the Beardy Podcast with Dale and Simon, with our special guest Jim.
Hello. Again. Thank you.
So we're here with Shavenwookie, also Simone. We're giving the name drop this time now. He's been
Simone,
he's
Shaven
been Shavenwookie. He's been in here more than once, so he gets the name drop. He may be a regular.
This is the second time, and it's a video one, and we were expecting another one to join us. They never got back to us.
No, well, I was like, I thought it would just be a typical me and Jim, and I thought, oh, I'll just ask if you're free whenever. And you're like, yeah, I'm free this weekend. I'm like, well, okay, then let's do it. Let's do it. No holds barred.
I'm free, but I'm not free. But if you know what I mean, it's one of those things.
It costs you.
I'm charging by the hour now.
That's
it's
exactly
great. Yeah, it's
Premium
this
guest.
is actually going to be you're all going to be in my OnlyFans. If I'm charging by the hour, I'll give you guys a cut back. I've agreed 10%. It's all good. Apparently they have a fetish for bearded guys. Don't know. Thought it was feet. Now it's bearded guys.
They're going.
He's like, I'm creating an account now. Wait, I've got an account.
So,
that he does.
as always, if you're listening to the podcast, you are enjoying, but also missing out on the extra entertainment that we have up over on YouTube. We see the numbers, we still see the regular listeners are there on Spotify, and we always appreciate that as always. But you are missing out on YouTube. YouTube is growing. That's where it's, I guess, at the moment for us. Season 1 was all about the audio. Season 2 is all about the video, I guess. I don't know.
You kind of need the video, though, just to get the traction. And then just the
We're just trying to
go.
branch out as always, just have that extra media there so people can have a bit of both worlds. People are missing out. I mean, I don't know if the stats are specifically correct, but people have increased a little bit with the video. They're watching a little bit more than what they used to. So the duration, people would dabble for about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. We're starting to get that.
Don't believe that, though.
We're starting. Well, apparently now the average statistic is about a bit more, about 6 minutes now. So it's gotten a little bit bigger. So eventually, maybe we can get those stats up to a regular 2 hours, hour and a half, whatever the episode is. Watch the whole episode because they're missing
That's a big jump.
Like, I don't know how long. Well, we're at now. So we're what episode? Wait, what episode?
11. Oh, where's my book?
Yeah. We
12
did
if you count the extra hour of the last time I was on.
Well, that's exactly. We had an extra. That was the 9.5 or whatever it was. Episode 11 already, and we're getting better. Like, it's getting there. Like, I mean, it's not a big thing. It takes time, but it'd be nice if people watched for the extra entertainment because they're clearly missing out on the nonsense that we have going on. If it wasn't for me making that little extra bonus clip.
Yeah, it's like a fine wine. It's fine to get drunk on it at the start, but you gotta over time it just gets better.
Yeah, you savor it.
You savor it. But just if you haven't caught up, just watch a whole of it, get really drunk on the content, and then just like we are right now. And
I should just take myself out.
Because I mean, it's more than just news. It's not just news that's gone on through the week. We rip the news, so if people haven't got the understanding yet, I mean, we got those that listen all the time on Spotify. They know exactly what's going on. But if you are listening and you want to get that extra, make sure you subscribe to the Beardy Bros podcast on YouTube. Click that bell icon. Subscribe, share out the post when we post them. Muchly helps. I don't know why I'm doing this face thing. I'm going do.
So you missed it before, Wookie. He was like the Pidcast and
the pity.
Pidian, the pig and
Pidcast.
pity.
The purdy.
I personally listen to this on Spotify. That's just me, but that's only because work has banned YouTube.
And that's exactly it. And that's why, like, for you, example, like, it's that kind of audience, which there's more regular audience that listens to the podcast than watches it. In a weird sense, people kind of just click on it and just get that view up, and they don't really sit through it, because we had that weird incident the other night, where it just shot up in numbers, but because we shared out, people feel like they must have clicked on it, but they didn't really. I don't know what happened. Maybe they watched it. Maybe they didn't.
Whoopsie. I think
It was weird, but people just were clicking it, and the numbers just shot up in that night. I was like, oh my God.
I have watched it on YouTube. I remember when one episode, you came in, you're wearing nothing but a thong, and then Jim was on the bed, and then you said something like, "Oops, this is the wrong podcast," and then wait, am I mistaken? Am I watching something else?
I think you watched my Beardy Bros OnlyFans.
I might be watching something else. This might be the special episode. Yeah.
You're wait, the accountant podcast.
The accountant podcast. You come in. This is not the podcast.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of accountants, I'm gonna say I was listening to the radio this morning on the way to work, and they were doing interviews on people who can you identify a party girl? And they interviewed 4 people to try. It was the typical quiz, doing a little quiz game show, and they were talking about what they do for work. And one of them goes, "I'm kind of an accountant." And I was like, wow, we know what that means. You're either an accountant or you're not. But when you go, you're a kind of accountant, we know exactly what you do. I was like, wow. I was like, okay then.
They just outed themselves.
Yeah. And it was
kind of a poor boy.
1 in 4 women, so my stats are pretty close. I don't know if that's... I mean, maybe one of the other 4 women might have had one as well, so it might have been 2 and 4, so I don't know.
No. They're not pro unless they're like Johnny Sins, I'm a doctor, police officer, plumber, military guy, all these facets. I've had more if you can say you've had more jobs than Johnny Sins, you are the adult guy, yeah.
But I thought it was just funny that they just basically just outed themselves on radio.
On public radio.
I'm kind of an accountant. I was like, wow.
I mean, you can be kind of one in the first place, but
it's just how they.
I could go into a tyrant right now. It's like saying, if you take out the trash once, doesn't make you a trash man.
Nah, exactly.
Yeah. Nah, exactly. So you could totally. I'm not going to say it.
Safe not to.
Safe not to. It's like, well, there was one time at band camp. It doesn't make me a garbage man. Dale's just
dear.
like, no.
No.
I'm not going to think about those convention days.
Maybe in season 4. 3.
Convention days, crazy times.
Well, actually, talking about convention days, PAX. PAX is on. PAX Australia is on later on this year. It is
apparently they're going
official.
ahead.
Apparently going ahead. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I mean,
soon.
Well, so you've never really been. Have you been? Well, so you haven't been much of a convention person yourself. But
Me?
still, no, Jim.
Oh, Jim. I was about to say, like...
No, you and me. We've been to plenty of conventions. We've had
Yeah,
hotels. We've done all crazy shit. So
no.
Like-
She's like, I don't want to go to conventions now. I don't want... No.
like I'm cool for PAX, but like I would say conventions in a whole. Like they've recently had the OzCon pop up. That kind of tested the waters for everyone, I guess.
Yeah.
And that kind of showed that it's a perfect step. But I mean, recently where we had today, they just announced that Brisbane had like an outbreak, as they like to put it. Basically, just one doctor was confirmed, like tested positive to COVID, and everyone just had a kerfuffle, and hospitals have like gone back to restriction, lockdown kind of things, where you got to check in processes and you got to wear masks and stuff like in hospitals. And that's just everywhere. Like everyone's freaked out and gone into.
But
Yeah,
it's
but
not
it's
relaxed in the
pandemic.
first place.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic, so you have to take one case seriously. It can spread so fast.
Exactly, and that's what I'm thinking at this stage. That the fact that they've announced it so soon, which is okay, yeah, cool, but things could change so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like...
It's-
Well, it's not till October, isn't it? Like
anytime
late
anyway,
in the
I
year.
just book my accommodation and have the availability to cancel when it comes close to it if need be.
Yeah.
You know, last thing what I do is go, yay, have fun at PAX, and then be like, oh wait, I have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Sorry, sorry to my work.
It's like, oh, thanks for coming down to Melbourne, but now you got to put yourself into quarantine. But like, I organised for PAX this weekend. Well, sorry, you got quarantined 2 weeks. Well,
yeah, well,
so, but it's. I still feel nothing should really go ahead till maybe more next year because we've started to slowly. Everything started to slow up this year. You know, we've only had like now. It's been what? How many months since we actually had well, not an outbreak, but at least any big case. And they've got got this one popped up again. It's like, it's going to happen still this year. We're going to still have those few little blips here and there. So
yeah, but we're gonna have like the vaccine is being distributed at the moment. So we've got frontline, doctors, etc. They're all getting it now,
and that's what I mean. Like, it still takes time for that to get through the system as well.
It does still take time.
For everyone to
Hopefully,
get it.
Majority of it will be rolled out by the time PAX happens, and that's the idea. If there is a hold up and then there are outbreaks, then it'll happen in time. Then so be it. So I think a lot of people will be like, "Yay, great," but still being very cautious on whether they book now or close to the date.
I mean, I'll probably still wait till about May-ish.
Yeah, exactly. If anything,
I'm just going to sort out. At the moment, anyway, I've got personally, I've got a few things happening, but I'm just like, no, well, I can book it as long as I can cancel the accommodation.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and before I buy flights and everything like that,
because flights are starting to pick up again quite big.
I mean, it's invite only, isn't it? Like you got to invitations
limited or something.
Like that's what I heard.
They're keeping it limited, I guess, keeping it a bit more, not as widespread. Because we've seen, like, I went the 2019. That was the first time actually going to PAX. I managed to go, and there is a lot of people. So I guess if they're keeping it more controlled and limited, it might help. And that's why
what I've heard. It could be wrong, but
if it is like that, would they go towards like, for example, several years ago, E3? E3 was only industry people, so it would just be media.
It could be the thing.
People just industry streamers, etc. So if they did want to have a limited, they could do that.
People coming.
Well, that's the. Was it sorry?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah, as Jim said, international people. It's probably going to be less people from overseas and have more local, which is great. Like support more local people, have them, be put up to the front rather than international. But yeah, we're still going to be having the limited amount of people. It might be, I don't know if it does go towards that. I understand.
Yeah.
But it's if they want to make back money from last year by not having it. Who knows?
Well, because they had that big, massive PAX thing that was all online, and it was like it was weird. So I'm wondering whether they might do a 50-50 maybe, where they might, if they do limit it, if that's what's going around, whether they have media only going for the actual convention, and other users can experience it digitally. Maybe they might do that. Like, we have to wait and see, I guess. I
think E3 is going online again, so.
Well, whatever's left of that, because that's slowly been falling apart.
Well, that's only what Microsoft and Nintendo now. So
the biggest thing was basically the Games of Summer, or whatever it was, Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest. Yeah, that's
that
quite late in the year though.
So well, yeah.
I mean,
What?
E3 is still going to happen, but it's not Jeff Keighley doing that anymore.
Hmm.
So who's
No.
going to step up for that? Really?
I think in cons in general, it's going to be interesting. For us in Australia, I think cons work better at this stage because of the whole COVID control, where the rest of the world, it is hard, and at the moment too, we do have... It's weird for PAX because PAX is, like I say, it's more industry-based stuff. It's more people getting the feel for games and stuff. That it would be weird because if it's not straight indie-based, we're not going to get a lot of that outer world experience from all over the the globe coming to PAX to demo their stuff, and it's just like no one's getting a real feel for it. You can't do everything.
But
It's
it's
going to be
hard
half
to
an experience.
it's hard to deny that last year was huge for gaming, and since a lot of people stayed at home and there was nothing else they could do, so gaming was like a huge thing they took up. And you know, when there was a whole influx of new streamers as well last year, if everyone noticed, you know, like everyone went, "I'm going to start streaming because I'm not working," and you know, it's.
It was kind of worse for me because like I was planning to stream for a while, and even before realistically got off, I had started streaming. I basically had been streaming even before COVID started, just didn't have my PC. And that's like that. I definitely felt that myself. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stream, and then this all happened, and everyone's like, I'm gonna start streaming. I'm like, well, there goes that idea. But I still stuck to it, and it still goes alright. But yeah, definitely everyone got onto that for sure. So it's a big thing.
Yeah, but they quickly dropped off pretty damn quick, though.
Yeah,
those that found they couldn't. It's a lot more work.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's work into it, but not just that. A lot of people went back to work and realized that, you know, hey, look, streaming isn't exactly for everyone. And streaming isn't as profitable as you always think it is, because it's not a matter of going, oh my god, I'll be like, just play Fortnite and, you know, get like $1,000 each month off, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, I don't think it means what you think it means.
No, exactly. People just think it's an easy. That's like that happened to me this afternoon when I left work. So I'm like, they're like, oh, you know, you get enough hours of work. I'm like, not really. It's not the best, but I'm just dealing with what I've got right now. Like, it is what it is. You kind of don't dwell on it as much anymore. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, Last year was a big thing where I used to kind of dwell on a lot of shit. Now I'm like, take it as it is. It is what it is. Whatever. Don't worry about it. And they're like, oh, you know, you'd be doing pretty good with Twitch. And I'm like, not really. Like I've only managed to get affiliate recently, and I've only had that one like massive brawl of subs, and I'm like, I haven't even got the payout yet. I'm like, I'm not doing that great on Twitch. Like, it's pretty average. Like, I'm not.
Certain amount.
Yeah. So it's pretty average. Like, I'm not. Some people do have that misconception that, you know, oh, you know, you're a Twitch streamer, you get money. Like, it's like, not really. You got to really work for it. Like, it is a lot of work. And Jim felt it the other night where he did that stream, and you were actually knackered after you streamed. You're like, wow, that was like a lot of work. Like, I'm buggered.
Oh, it was only a 3 or 4 hour one, but
and
damn.
it is like it's to put the effort, the energy out. Like some people just like find it easy, whatever. Some people are lucky enough to get money thrown at them. But it's just like there's to really like have the focus. Like it is draining. Like there'll be times where I'll stream and at the end of the week I'm like kind of glad that I get my weekend free. I mean, I do the podcast, but I'm happy to do the podcast. Like. That's always going to be the first energy for me. Like, always midweek now, I'm always like, I want to do the podcast. And it's just like instantly, I'm like, is it the weekend yet? No, it's not. Fuck. Take a minute. Like, I like doing this. This is fun. Like, I'm really getting into it. It's getting more involved and stuff. And streaming's like that as well. And it's just like, you got to put that energy in to get that energy back. So, I just think it's easy.
When you said you get exhausted, but it was mainly because I had chat constantly going, like, for the whole 3 hours.
But that's exactly, you're actually talking, you're interacting, and that's like work. Like, if you're like me that works retail, that's a social job. You're working, you're constantly communicate with people and help people. It's the same kind of thing, so it's like kind of taking that to use that for streaming as well, and you use that. You got to keep communicating. You're a host, you're hosting. It's like, you're a radio host, you're a game show. Like, that's basically what you are. You're there, you're in the eye.
Standing up part really does that.
Yeah. A big commitment standing up there. Don't skip leg day.
Easy.
But
carved of steel.
It's crazy, but it's going to be interesting to see where this takes us still with this whole COVID thing. So
we've got COVID forever, really. Like, it's never going away.
No, it's not going away. You just got to be smart about it. It's just typical.
It's going to be like eventually like a flu vaccine that you get every year.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It's just a severe, like we've said before, it's just a severe case of pneumonia, basically. Just be mindful, stay hygienic, stay clean, don't cough in people's tea, like...
What do you go?
Where'd that come from?
Oh, here's your copy.
You just look like that derpy cat just then.
Oh god.
Didn't he? Like you see it? Like fucking derpy cat. Oh,
That's
no.
my screen. We haven't even gotten to my notes. My notes are turned off.
Your newts.
My notes.
Your
So,
notes.
got some news.
Right now.
I know some. Oh, wait, actually, it's actually hurt my eyes a little bit. But turn it down.
It was your monitor, I think, because you
Yeah,
you just
I
lit it up.
got that coming from there, and I got this coming from here, and that's very bright front on. So we have all kinds of nothing massive news. We got some follow up cancel culture things to discuss here.
I'm over cancel culture.
Oh,
really.
it's crazy. We got some funny stuff in here, which I'm gonna try actually.
Cancel my balls.
Cancel my balls. I'm actually gonna try and edit this one a little bit more. I'm not just saying it this time, like I said every other time. I'm actually gonna try and pop things up on the screen properly. I'm not gonna do it. That's a lie.
What? Not like that little fire that just went.
You know what you're about to do, right? You're gonna make sure all other unimportant tabs are closed.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pop up anything.
No, it'll be all post edit. It'll be all after I've done, and I'll put them up in the corner here. Like I've got some black space here.
Eventually,
next to...
we'll have things to pop up screens. Eventually.
Yeah. Once I got my extra monitor and everything, like once I got that to get my extra monitor, boost everything set up, I can actually drag things across to the screens. Like I'll actually set up everything properly. I can just flick a tab and flick to that screen, and it'll be easier to manage. But at this stage, I have to drag and drop some images into the side. So Wookie down here is going to enjoy having images next to his camera because he's got the black space next to him and the void. We've got the void down here. The void's just down there. It's a bit down that way. Which one's a bit more heavier than the other? I don't know. But yeah,
We'll find out.
We'll find out. So we've got some different news which I'll pop up there because there's some funny pictures I've found, and or there's maybe one there, but at least we'll get some more relevance of context going on. But start off with the cancel culture stuff. We've had an article come out, but basically the headline was basically Rowan Atkinson compared cancel culture to medieval mob looking for someone to burn. So he's basically not wrong. He's got that. No. He's nailed that straight on the head. Like the spark of like the recent spurt of cancel culture has just been going on a mob tirade. Like everyone's gone from one thing. Whoa, we've done that. Let's go on to the next thing. Oh, we're gonna do that. Oh, do that. Oh, do that. It's just like, calm the fuck down, people. Like,
but where do they find the targets? That's the thing. Like
anything.
They're from like decades ago. Like
that's exactly it. They bring up stuff that people. There's some stuff out there that I'm surprised people haven't dug up. But there's stuff that's just digging up anything and everything that's past stuff that shouldn't be relevant. If you're gonna like, I'm not for it, but it should be recent thing. If you're gonna be at it, like, make it relevant. Like, not just be like, this thing happened 50 years ago. That person's died, but we need to cancel it. It's like, let it be. You can't like. It's fucking old shit. Like that's what it was back then. Get over it. Like, fucking. Ugh.
Like it's like when I was watching what movie was it? And I said this will be cancelled.
Oh fuck.
Blazing Saddles? No.
That's
a cancelled movie right there.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
I mean, I think it was Gran Torino or something. Like,
yeah, Gran Torino. Yeah.
We mentioned Gran Torino.
People be so salty over that. Let's hope they don't watch it.
But we the biggest thing that basically I guess sparked it all was definitely the Gina Carano thing. There's been a big massive flip turnaround on that, where she's actually had mass amount of support now, way more support. Like, what does it work out to be, like triple to 4 times the support than the amount that was against her? And it's just like, here's the ratio of people that were like, cancel her, and then here's the ratio of like the people like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's just like, and Disney's over here like, oh fuck, what have we done?
They really screwed up though. Like their stocks have gone way down. The investors have just up and gone.
And that's exactly it. Like their stockholders being like, what the fuck are you doing? Like they're basically trying to hold the company accountable, being like, why did you do this? Like, why did you make this decision? Like, technically, stockholders, shareholders, like, there's people that have meetings at these things, too, that make decisions.
They're the ones who pay, like, things to go ahead.
But, like, really, they have people that go to meetings that run stuff. Were these people, now that you think about it, these shareholders that usually have their people that, like, their lawyers that, you know, you've got people when you've got it. How come, when it comes to it, those people weren't taken accounted for to have their opinion when they're getting rid of someone?
because it was Lucasfilm,
Like-
not actual.
Yeah, and it's just like, wow. And then everyone's like trying to like actually cancel Catherine Kennedy and all this stuff because she's been fucking up Star Wars for God knows how long now.
It's a bit late for that.
Yeah.
So it should have been done
The last
10 years
3
ago?
Star Wars films. That's all I can say.
Oh, and then
The
everything else
last
she's
one.
trying to get her hands on. But
I
yeah,
I
that's
mean, there's
crazy.
a few good
I'm
ones.
a huge
Like
Star
Rogue
Wars
One
fan.
and
The good thing out of Star Wars in the
And
last
I
few
think we did
years
mention the
has
last
been
episode where
Mandalorian.
their new biggest IP character was a rock, apparently. We mentioned that last week as well.
Yeah, well, I heard something about Mando season 3 is in trouble. I'm like, well, good on it. Well,
I know.
they deserve it.
Well, what they brought upon themselves, basically. It's unlucky for John, like Favreau and like
Yeah.
what's his name, the other bloke. Unlucky for them, and they're kind of upset as well because it's affecting
They
them.
just
Like they
go
didn't.
on to something else, really. Like,
But if that's exactly it, if this is going to be this way, they're happy to be like, well, he's still with Disney. Like he can do a lot of work
Yeah.
for Favreau, but he's just.
I
Like,
mean,
well,
it's the actors in it who will be out of a job. Like,
So it's just crazy, and so everyone's pissed at the moment. It's just causing this whole shabacle.
It does come down to, like, for example, she was fired for something that she said as in her personal life, like
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Hmm.
But also she's in entertainment. So
Yes.
whatever you say in the entertainment field, eventually, you know, it'll be like, whatever else we say now will affect us down the track if we get big enough. And it'll be like, oh, they said so-and-so this years ago, and because they're famous, like, we
You're
have to
target,
criticize them. And it's like, why? Because they're famous. And it's like, that's not... Shouldn't you be more concentrating on, you know, hey, look, there's a guy that's on your... You know, at your school that's bullying your child or whatever, or, you know, shouldn't you focus
Actually
on a
doing
more
something. Actually, like
local than rather just jumping the gun?
But
And
that's what gets me too. And a lot of the stuff too that people get riled up at is its words. They're like, oh, words speak louder. Like, well, actions speak louder than words. Like, they're not actually like stuff that's like she's saying stuff. She's having an opinion, but she's not actually most people that haven't actually physically done something. If they've physically done something, then there's an issue. Like, if they're physically going around being like a Nazi or something stupid like that, well then, okay, yeah, that's accountable because they're actually being a Nazi.
they're
like,
actually doing it.
they're actually doing stuff. They're actually supporting and actually doing things. Like, there's a lot of that coming out because that's like, Boogie mentioned that on one of his tweets the other day where he was talking about talking about his friend that he knew growing up, and he found up finding out like that they were straight up like they were supporting Nazi, like straight up, not just like sharing things that were like somewhat Nazi, like these were straight up like Nazi degree, like specific, like serious hate, using them as memes. Like this was aggressive hate. Like there's a difference between propaganda, like it's basically propaganda and just general talk, like general opinion. Like there's two different things.
talk. It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. But then there's actual people that actually, you know, dress the look, take the part, act the actions. Like that's where you need to control. Like that's the stuff you need to be deeming, not people just spouting words.
That just want to be outraged for the sake of being outraged.
Just want to have an opinion.
Because
feel heard.
they've got nothing else to do with their lives. They're just like, oh, this should be. It's like, well, yes, and you know, it's not
looking for
really
drama.
Yeah, it's purely for drama. You're just saying it for the sake of saying it because you're trying to jump onto the next bandwagon.
Exactly.
Because if it was an actual proper opinion, like, or if it was something like, oh, let's all throw batteries into the ocean, and it's like, that's affecting the environment. That's actually
it's an action.
That's actually generally a bad thing. That you were talking about?
But like, if you
the hell?
Yeah, and if you say you're going to do it but don't actually do it, okay, yeah, it sounds bad that you're going to do it. But if you're not actually doing it, then that's a different story. It's actions. Actions.
But you're costing people their livelihood, like their jobs. Like,
yeah, just because you feel bored and you think, oh, this would be funny to take them down. This will be funny as a haha joke, and it's just like, well, no.
It's the old sticks and stones shall break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Good old saying.
But this day and age, words
it's just stupid. I personally just don't like to. I just think those people are just a waste of time that just like to jump up or down about those social issues.
Well, I
was about to say, there was something else that did come up this week, but I'm not like an aficionado. But did it come by? There was the hashtag Super Straight on Twitter. Did you guys hear about that?
No, I didn't.
No.
That just popped up on Twitter lately, and it's kind of like it was pointing out, you know, that I don't want to get into it because I'm not like I've just heard about it in passing.
That's all right.
So like, it was basically a whole kind of if like someone is straight is only attracted to other people of like male to female kind of. That's I'm straight. Like you can say, oh, I'm super gay, so gay person.
So I guess they made fun of that going super straight kind of thing.
Yeah. Just it was like a hashtag that was trending on Twitter. I was like, what the hell is this about? Even though like the colours of the symbols were very reminiscent of Pornhub.
Because they're just big meme. They're just being.
Yeah, it was essentially a big meme, and I was just like kind of paying a little attention to it, but just going, what is this about? But then just realizing it was a troll. I'm like, it's
basically
a troll.
It's getting to it's just getting to that point now. It's nothing too serious.
It was one of the things that happened this week as well. It was the hashtag super straight, and it was kind of like they were just hammering down.
That's what's wrong with Twitter. Like anyone can say anything, and as soon as it gains traction, like if it's about hate, that'll get so much
people
attention.
use hashtags, and the hashtags are wild, and that's the thing.
Part of it was basically it was just to say, hey, I'm straight. I'm heterosexual, blah blah. That's it. I'm super straight. But it was kind of like a troll, a joke, kind of like debate people. Pretty much like, oh well, blah blah blah, and I'm this, and it's like, well, don't you get the point? I'm just stating that I only prefer a certain individual type, and you prefer only individual type. I'll let you be. You let me be. Bygones be bygones. But yet people were jumping up and down and saying, no, you can't be super straight. You can't. You have to like all these people. And it's like, well, don't I have a choice? I let you have a choice.
Since you said that, that's the reason people get cancelled, because they don't believe what the person cancelling just doesn't agree with what they're saying. Like, so
and that's where it all comes down to it. It's like someone jumps up and down, and it was the same thing's been happening for the last 10 years or so, or if not more than 50 years, who knows. It's always been the same perpetual thing. Someone who yells loud enough of their opinion thinks they're right.
Like this little guy here.
But it comes down to stupid people are the only ones that actually listen. Like, if you want to go, oh yeah, well yeah, they're right, oh yeah. It's like, no, because you're an idiot. They're an idiot for saying it. You're an idiot for listening. Make your own opinion and be like, have rational. Hey, we got a special guest. Be rational, and be basically like, well, are they trolling? Yeah, okay, they're trolling. Well, no two shits to it. It's no point. And it's like there's special guest. Hey, it's still Dale.
It's a surprise
Dale
He apparently knows all about it.
Alright, I'm out. Bye, guys. I'm upstaged by a child. This is why you don't work with animals and children.
Yeah.
Can you go back watch your movie?
No.
No. Go back. I'll be in a sec.
Why you don't work with animals and children? Because you can't get drunk with them. And if you do,
well, I was gonna say,
you didn't drunk with them. Just
you can't just force feed a dog a beer.
One sec. So I was like, being that Twitter trend thing, there's the other one that was going around at the moment as well, which was the relationship status one, where it was like single by the way, or so, and everyone was doing all the different things like single or taken or married. It was like this weird thing, and I was like, pickle by the way. I was like, I'm just gonna. It's like,
how am I missing all these? Like,
people just post, but there's no hashtag. If there's no hashtags, you don't really see it unless it's related in the thing. But so many people were doing it. I'm just like, these trends are whack. Yeah. And going about the hashtags, I can't. It's just weird with the hashtags. People take the hashtags as well. Sometimes these hashtags get trending and they're not even relevant. Like sometimes people are for whatever they're supporting or against it, but they'll use the hashtag to try and it gains traction the wrong way because it's like it's hate or it's support. Like it's all clickbait.
I don't believe half of these cancel people believe in what they're saying. Like they're just joining the train of sheep.
I just don't.
They like to believe their own bullshit. and then spread it to someone else who doesn't know what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah, or there's like you get brought up something. It's like, are you totally like with this? It's like I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, but yeah, sure, whatever. And that means you kind of just what's the word? Just pander
like that's
to
what I
it
mean. Like,
because
if you don't get
like,
what they're,
right, I'll go
if
along
they're
with it.
ranting and you don't know what they're ranting about, stay out of it. Like, or if you don't agree with it, just say whatever and just move on.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That's
it.
common sense.
Common sense isn't common these days. It was. I wouldn't say it's old fashioned. I would just say it's just not taught
Anymore.
or
last-
you know.
15, 20 years.
But there's a lot of things that aren't taught, especially in school, that we were should have been brought up on. It's like, you know, it would have been nice to actually be taught common we did actually have like cooking classes. That was fine. You know, stuff like that. Grow up, get cooking classes, get sewing classes.
You had your woodwork, you had
Work, you know, it's like,
metalwork.
let you like school's supposed to like suss you out. What do you want to learn? You know, there was social studies, there was history, there was biology, all that kind of stuff. But there was another one that we should have learned is like basic finance. That would have been a nice one to learn. You know, like when you get out of school, it'd be like, all right, this is how you do your.
That's a college thing, though. Like, you can learn
no,
that in college.
Tax, that would have been good. Like, or
True.
at least learn like what the hell it's all about, or like basic, how to do basic saving and sorting out all your, money and detail stuff.
That's right.
Like,
School
don't go to a
learning is-
convention and spend all your money on configurines. Like, don't do that. There should be a class about that. Special weeb class. We'll go to schools and see if they want to do a weeb class where it's like, it's all right to grab the Naruto figurine, but if you're getting anything from One Piece, you're probably better off slapping your own face off. Don't. I'm not bagging out over. I'm just using them as excuses. I'd personally get an Evangelion one, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Or like, but you know what I mean. It'd be actually pretty good to have. This is the point where I'm into my fourth drink now. I'm rambling on now. So I'm just saying that weeb classes at school would be awesome. You just talk about anime, watch anime, sort it out with your anime.
Studying, you can study gaming and stuff as well. Like actually
actually that's a
learning
legit
and getting
thing.
good at Fortnite and stuff like that. Like what?
Yeah, that'd be awesome to do a class. I'm gonna go to schools and see hey, I'm starting up a class. I want to be a teacher. I want to teach kids how to play Fortnite. And either they're gonna laugh at you or they're gonna give you a massive amount of money and say, all right, yes. Our kids go to learn how to play Fortnite.
Schools have to ditch the algebra part.
Algebra?
That's pointless. Do you use algebra, Des?
I never learned it.
Do you use algebra? Oh.
I never learned it.
Do you use it?
I've been taught algebra.
Yeah, but do you realistically in the real world use it often?
Well, realistically in the real world, no. But if my job detailed it, sure, I would be using algebra all the time. But it's one of those things, yes, it should be for more advanced. Like,
that should be a college, university thing. Like,
exactly. Like, schools should have.
I was learning that in grade 3, like algebra in grade 3.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
No, you don't.
Not early.
Yeah.
It's like.
I'm just rambling on. It should be
I was going back to what we were talking about before with the cancels. One thing I wanted to mention, because me and you, Jim, specifically, I don't know if you follow him as well. The quartering. He got a big victory. But did you see that article that went out from the lady that tried cancelling him?
Yes.
Where she legit said in the report that she mentioned because the whole way basically what she was playing, she was basically playing the race card. She was specifically playing the race card. She goes, they don't listen. They don't listen to me. She goes, the thing, I'm such and such. I'm a woman of color. Like specifically stating, it's like, okay, we know. Hey,
where did this come from? I didn't see that.
You didn't see it? Yeah, she had a rant to you because she replied to YouTube, and YouTube read over the thing, and it was it was, hey.
I haven't followed this at all.
You haven't followed it at all.
No,
Okay, so,
no.
Oh wow, because
Like-
he was being cancelled because something. This apparently what fledged from it. So the whole thing go back to it. Let's rewind a little bit.
Oh, you mean the zombie thing?
I don't know which one it was that
Where you
started.
getting cancelled from zombie?
I might have been her because apparently she was being attacked by his fan base audience and like.
No, apparently
was-
he got her swatted, which is fake.
Yeah, basically
Which-
that, which was
That's-
he did nothing. He'd done nothing, and then apparently his fan base was doing it and all this stuff. He did none of that happened. It was all made up bullshit from her. And she had this whole rant thing back, and then she was all like, "Oh, you know, you should be listening to me. I'm a person of color." She was playing that whole and like you read the whole article. I gotta find the image and I will have to post it up. But she had the whole thing, and they're like, "We've reviewed your report. We've dealt with the comments that seem out of place, but otherwise than that, we do not see any problems." And then she goes, "Oh, they're not listening me. They're not like all people of the, or was it like the black community and all stuff? They're not treating us fairly and all this stuff." And it's just like what? Like, it got nothing to do with that. Like, there was no race card played in the first place. There was nothing against race, like culture, whether you're black, white, whatever, you know, any color. Like, there was none of that. There was none of that to begin with, and she ended up making it that way. And then you read through his support. There's a lot of like black community supporting him and understanding where it's coming from. It's like, I've not once ever found this racist. I've supported you this whole way. This person's a complete idiot. It's just like she's trying to she's trying to now demograph the black community, try and blame like that they're against him. But then you look at all the people and all those people support him, and majority there's a lot of black community supporting him. It's just like where do these people? And it's not just like they just get this thing stuck in their head. And they try to play this whole race thing, and that's where I think the half of these problems are starting to come from.
It could be also that she realizes that she's wrong about halfway through, and she's trying to save herself.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I really fucked up. I need to use a different angle. Let's use this one instead. Use the race card.
Maybe they'll be better because if I use the race card.
It might make me look better in the long run, but it makes them look worse. And it's kind of like you fucked up, son. And
that's exactly it. And from what I've heard coming out from that, apparently she's has used that card multiple times, and it had worked for her in the past. This is the one time now where it hasn't worked for her, which is good.
It's because she's got no evidence. He's
done
nothing.
That's exactly it.
No.
And it's just getting tiring of people using the race card for anything and everything, trying to get their way. It's just like that's realistically not how it's never realistic. Well, it's on the modern day and age. It's never really worked that way. Like,
fine. If we're going to use the race card, I'm Asian. This should be my show. And welcome to the Wookie show. And you guys might now guess. And because
cut in new intro, Shaven Wookie podcast.
Do intro. No, it's stupid.
And that's exactly it. Like it's playing things and trying to make this whole like there's a community behind her and trying to get other people riled up for crap. And it's just like it's just people like that in general, just people that have that mentality. It's just like you're fucking you're the problem. This is the problem, and then you try and bring everyone else in, and everyone else misinterprets it, and it's like, oh, this, that, and it's like, no, it's individual people. It's individual people. I think it has now. It was only recently that it was talked about. And of course, you know him. He will drag it on a little bit. But
I mean, he kind of has to just to people get the bloody point.
There's a few things
that's his job as well.
Think of like old sayings that could apply. You know, evil wins when good men do nothing, which essentially means call that shit out if they're being an idiot. That's one way. But then there's, you know, if you give attention to an idiot, all they're gonna do is run with it. Exactly.
Give an inch, so a mile.
Yeah. So those two things applied in this situation, and it's just kind of like, well, you know, you should call it out as soon as it happens, but at the same time, you're giving them the attention that they want. But if the urge is bigger than calling him out, there's enough people calling him out. It obviously, you know, the idiot starts fucking.
And it's just getting, and all of that's getting out of hand. And the other thing too, recently we saw, as well this week was basically cartoon character Pepe Le Pew being basically cancelled, which was just stupid as well.
I can think why.
We can get why. And the worst problem is now.
Jim's like, what? Why?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with.
He wasn't that bad over time. When he started, he was a bit too forceful over time. But at the same time, people like he kept pushing and pushing.
That was
Like the
back
characters
then.
did reject,
Like,
but at the same time, if you actually watch the content, characters would reject him. They would push him away. He wouldn't say no, but like they were pushing him away. They were defending themselves. He would get slapped.
Yeah.
They would run away. Like something would happen to him. There was repercussions. People forget that there was repercussions. He wasn't just being a sleazy
people just
Frenchman.
watch
Like,
a bunch of old
he
things.
isn't a
and
completely
just go,
Frenchman. He's also
an
bi
idea.
because he hit on a lot of other male characters too.
exactly. He was just in general a romance. Like he's just romantic.
So
So-
are they gay shaming now?
But the worst problem is the director
You
for
put
the
it out
new.
there.
Pepe Le Pew is just not straight. He is both. He's bi. Therefore, they're bi shaming, and they
Well,
shouldn't cancel.
what got me the most out of all
Cancelling their own.
this, yeah. What got me the most out of this whole thing though was they basically now have taken him all because it's come from the director of the new Space Jam movie. So basically, he's taking him out of the movie apparently altogether. But there was a whole scene that was in the script. This is what got me the most, which is like a double back on themselves. Like you're stopping by causing the problem by stopping the problem. It made no sense because there was a scene in the new Space Jam movie where he was supposed to be the way he was. He was going to hit on a real life character person, and they were going to like put Pepe Le Pew in his place. They have now taken that scene because he's now scrapped from the movie. They've now taken him out of the movie, and there's no one going to learn a lesson about how to treat people with respect and dignity, and don't be the way of being harassed. He's got touched my beard. My beard. And like they just one sec, Jack, one sec. Yeah, you have a lolly. Okay, you have a lolly. That's fine. You don't have to tell me you're having a lolly. Mum will watch this episode. She'll be like, "Why are you having a lolly? You meant to keep that to yourself."
So like, no,
You
this
know you've now,
podcast is ruining my parenting.
you know you just dug me and you a hole with Mum if she watches this episode. Just go.
No,
eat.
isn't he eating
Go and
vegetables, like raw vegetables? That's not a lolly,
He's like,
is
look at
it?
this. He's like, look at this.
It's a
Check your
carrot.
mic. I
It's
said
a
you could
carrot.
have it. I mean, technically it's 9:30. He shouldn't be having something this late at night, but I'm like, whatever.
He'll be
I'm
awake all
responsible
night now
parent.
because of the sugar.
He
Yeah.
won't. It's natural sugars. But anyway.
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
But like,
It's not the-
it's just stupid. Some of the stuff down there canceling because like the director's all, oh, I'm gonna cancel it. He's changed Lola. Like we mentioned this last week.
Well, you know about the Lola Bunny.
Yeah, well,
right?
we went through that last week. Last week's
Yeah,
episode.
it's this director just seems like he's digging himself a hole with the movie.
But the
Oh,
fact,
yeah.
like that is the one of the. But the whole Pepe Le Pew one, the most that they actually had in the script a scene to teach a lesson of how to respect women and other people, like actually respect, not be the type of character that Pepe Le Pew was. They've now gone, oh, because he's cancelled, we're going to take the scene out. So now there's no going to be any life lesson taught in the movie to show that you shouldn't do that. So therefore, people aren't going to like. Isn't that what? Wouldn't you want that? Like this is why he's being cancelled because he's the way he is, and he was gonna teach, he's gonna be taught a lesson not to do that. But now you're taking that out, so therefore, technically, he hasn't learnt any lesson.
Yeah, but you know they've got to cater to
Right.
the wide audience.
That doesn't mean it just makes no. It's like a weird.
Can we go back to the Lola Bunny because she's like back in the day she was
Busty.
yeah no
Well,
I
not
wouldn't
even
say
that.
But, like you had animated characters that were just like I wouldn't say like what's the word, confusing as a child to see.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it'd be like, goddamn, Lola Bunny.
Well, the image that had been circulating around had been fan art compared to the new artwork, but even then,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm
the
just
original
saying
artwork had been a little bit more out there. But the fact that they've changed her drastically, like the whole design has changed altogether. Basically, her facial features are different. Like she's different all the way around. Like they changed the look. It's just like what? But everyone else is still the same. Like
Yeah, yeah.
If we protest like Sonic, maybe.
What's the time period between the first movie and the second one? Is it still like 20 years after?
yeah.
They are like older.
But then she
They
wouldn't
should be
change
older,
that
but
much.
she looks younger. But they're cartoon characters. But it's
Cartoon
weird.
characters.
They wouldn't really age.
Yeah, they should look exactly the same. There's no like.
Hang on, do the other ones look the same? Like,
Yeah, they look basically the same, but
but she got changed. Like, that's a bit.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair for the
the
fans.
uniforms have changed as well, so they're not having those cool Space Jam outfits anymore. Like they had.
Yeah,
that,
the
like,
uniforms are fine to change. That's uniforms. Uniforms
that
change.
color. Remember how there was that picture we showed of her new outfit? That's the new uniform.
Yeah.
That blue and orange or whatever. It was.
That's not too bad, but
Yeah.
changing the one character model, or something like.
Yeah,
Just because-
I heard the reason why because it was for modern times. From like, oh, there's so many like
I thought that movie's going to be M, no,
like
no doubt.
had a thing for Lola Bunny, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fairies crying right now. I'm like, no.
It's crazy. So yeah, so that's the biggest in that section of that. It's just been nonsense after nonsense. It's just like
That's why I
why?
kind of want to get rid of Twitter and that for like, say, a month. But I kind of need it for the podcast.
Yeah. It's
Get
just
rid of
weird.
like Twitter and YouTube. And...
Now this is one for you, Jim. I've been stabbing at you for a little while since it's been out. The little Tasmanians, the crazy Tasmanians. You filthy weird people.
Wow.
No, so it's not taking a stab at everyone.
Tasmania had a family reunion I picked up twice.
So it's this specific old couple that's been making the stir around because they were on they were on the ABC. They had an interview and stuff, and they were talking about how they live. They secluded. You know, they have their little farm property. They grow their own veggies. Their own pets. Stuff like that. Keyword, they're pets.
Pets.
Pets. So it's just this older couple, which makes sense the way they're living. They want to live their own healthy lifestyle. Grow their own veggies, have their own. So they eat quail and they eat guinea pigs. Was the biggest thing.
Okay.
And
why
they had
them?
that's
Why
the
not
thing.
get normal pigs?
Like that was the thing. Like, and they had a routine where they breed their guinea pigs. They have their males, their females. They eat the veggies as well when they're done, so they get their scraps. But basically, the guinea pigs would breed. They have the pups, half grow them, then kill them and then eat them.
They're like this fucking big then.
That's exactly it. And then they were having this whole news article which has kind of created a stir. And they showed recipes of how they cooked up guinea pigs and halves guinea pigs. I'm like, there's one problem that me and my missus were talking about, because we've got guinea pigs. That the ones that people eat, like specifically in South America or, where it's a cultural thing, they're a specific breed of guinea pig. They're Kiwi, which they're a larger pig in general. They're a fatter pig, they're a meaty pig. And they are the rodent species. Guinea pigs are the rodent species. And but they're bred to actually be eaten. But these people are basically just getting normal run-of-the-mill guinea pigs, breeding them, and then eating them. And it's just like you're getting the smallest guinea pig that's not the meatiest, which is a pet, and they're bred. The breed species are designed to be pets. They're a pet breed, but these people are basically breeding them and eating them. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You're basically eating pets. Like if you there's anything else you could be eating. They have quails, which they get the eggs and eat quail as well for their chickens.
Situation?
It's just
Sure.
But they're
Survival,
living in this modern day and
But
age,
like wallabies, kangaroos, all that in the bush.
yeah.
But you're gonna eat guinea pigs.
But that's exactly it. They have this whole thing, and it's created a big divide through the community because like the big guinea pig community has been like, what the fuck, which is true. It's like, what the fuck. And then reading some of the comments, people saying like, oh yeah, I eat them as snacks and stuff like that, and it's a big thing coming out. That how many people are eating guinea pigs is really messed up. There's actually a lot coming out now of how many people actually eat guinea pigs in Australia. There's actually a big amount of people that eat guinea pigs, but the problem is it's the wrong type. You're eating pets, they're grown to be pets, not for food.
Just think, you've gone to a restaurant. Are you getting guinea pig?
Like.
Oh, you mean the urban legend where it's like, don't let your cats and dogs near the certain
Asian
restaurants? Yeah. It's like...
It's just crazy.
We can't say that, Jim. We can't say exactly which one, alright?
Wong Tong soup?
Because we get cancelled.
Oh, fuck that. We'll take them on.
We're here, we don't care. Nothing's going to stop us. They could try and cancel us, we'll just create another channel.
Well, they won't cancel us because they'll look at other stuff and go, these people make sense.
It was just, I know what you mean. It's the urban legends that we used to always hear. It was just like, now we can just add guinea pigs to it.
I mean, but that's real though.
Yeah, it's been on the news. It's this crazy old couple from Tasmania.
It's...
that's my grandparents.
Last year was the end of the world. We kind of let a few things pass. By now, we're expecting to drive, muscle cars and wear nothing but leather bikinis. And,
I've got one.
and ass and start battling out out in the dirt roads. So
Yeah.
But apparently it's not going to happen now. It's not a thing. So I gotta
Put the
not
bikini
wear
on.
that little bikini.
But that was a bit of a weird one. So
I
I was
just
like,
can't get over the guinea pigs.
yeah, it's been sitting with me because I'm just like, how? And
They're mostly bones and hair. Like,
they have a small amount. You would have more meat off a hare or a rabbit than a guinea pig.
especially a fucking rabbit. Like,
Even at a full-grown guinea pig, that's still not enough meat.
it's mostly bones
Primarily
and
fat.
That's just
Like
how long's it been going on for? Like
they've been doing
centuries?
they've been apparently doing it for 10 years, 25 years, something like that. These old couple have been doing it for years.
That's a lot of guinea pigs.
Hmm.
Can you imagine, like, go to their place, what's in your bin? You see fucking carcasses.
Well, if you're going over there to eat, you're going to eat quail or guinea pig.
Quail, not too bad. Guinea pig, what the fuck?
Quails are still fairly small.
Yeah, but you can legally eat them though.
So it's crazy. Bring it back around. Quick little plug for video games. Did you hear the file size for Resident Evil 8?
225 gig.
Xbox Series X, it's 50 gig.
That's small.
And for PS5, it's 27.32 gig.
All right. Let me hear about. Let me just say this.
The file size thing, yeah.
This is why consoles are pretty much always are going to be behind, because it's going to be very frustrating for console owners to have more than one game on their console.
Mm-hmm.
For example, having Call of Duty alone is going to cost you half a terabyte.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to have that on. So, sure, most Xbox and console games are all on discs, but most of them they're just download straight to your hard drive. So if you want multiple games, and you play multiple games, it's not going to happen. You're going to stick with 1 to 2, maybe 2 games at this point.
I've got like 6 on my PS5. It's so small. Like 600 gig does not last.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
It doesn't. I have right now I'm chugging about 4 terabytes. That's still not enough. Like some of the smaller games, older games, it's a couple gig. That's fine.
That's like that.
And when you start playing games like
200 gig, Cyberpunk 100 and 30
that's
gig.
why I'm selective with what I install on my PC, because I've got a terabyte hard drive. I need to get another hard drive for my computer because it's running out of space. I've had to delete games because I'm like, I'm not going to play that, or I'll leave it. I've already played a bit of it,
That's why I got the 10 terabyte. Like, friggin'
games
need
aren't
10
small.
terabyte.
Exactly. I'm going to upgrade to another a couple of terabytes later on.
I'm going to have to do
Not
that
enough. And the limited abilities that a console has, with 1.5 terabytes at most. I've seen extra hard drives they can get. It's not enough. Anyone that had can't play any of the Xbox, any of the
this is how bad
Call
it
of
is.
Duty games.
I've got a 4 terabyte external hard drive plugged into my Xbox, and the internal hard drive is a 1 terabyte. I've basically got them all full.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a fair few games installed. I got 100. I think there's 100 games installed nearly. but
just
it works with that because they're small sizes. But it's crazy.
how the hell do they compress Resi 8 to 27 gig?
That's what I'm like. What? But I guess it needs it on PS5 because.
Because what's inside the PS5, Mark Cerny went through that whole, that boring hour speech. That they've got it compacted where games will be smaller on there, but have all the same assets because of that very fast SSD. Which, that being made for PS5, is taking advantage of it. Just like Miles Morales, that was small. Demon's Souls, that's small. That's 50 gig, I think, for the full game. Sackboy is 20 something gig. They're all friggin' small.
Which is great.
I mean,
everything else
COD 2 over 100, as for some reason.
Well, yeah, with the update, it's entire hard drives. But
the base games, I think, 20 gig or less.
What else have we got?
But yeah, it's getting a little bit too much where you won't be able to have all your old games or any of your new games onto the same hard drive. You'll have to constantly back up, or you'll constantly be using your internet connection because you're just trying to update games that require more room. Or you're trying to go, all right, I'm going to install an old game, and you realize you don't have room, so you're going to uninstall this and reinstall that, and just it's going to be too much of a hassle. It's unless you want to put more money into portable hard drives for your consoles, or even at the moment still PC. It's getting up there where you have to get another hard drive or a portable hard drive, and it's just back everything else up.
But realistically, these new discs hold 100 gig. Why are they getting like the day one patches and that? Put everything on the disc. It's 100 gig, and you've got like a 30 gig game.
Day one
play
patches.
it off the damn. Play it off the disc. Don't install games anymore.
The base game. Remember, the base game itself is that's the game, but that gets made before a good month or so before down the road, and then they're still working on the game up to release and all those things. They can't just go, all right, stop manufacturing the disc, we're going to update all of them. That's not possible.
Yeah.
So that's
they should just not do the disc until everything's done and then release it.
Yeah, but distribution and manufacturing, you got to put that in consideration. It'd be fantastic.
Sony does it. I think the last verse only had a gig update.
A lot of the day one patches nowadays, also have codes in it, so it stops people from playing games earlier than what they need to be. So that's why a lot of these day one patches now not just have updates to make the game run like the last few fixes. It also puts blocks on it because there's too many people getting games way too earlier and playing them and getting leaked information out. So day one patches basically the key to deactivate the game.
You mean to unlock the game so it actually can be played? Yeah.
So it verifies, okay, this is the right date, now you can play it. So
you can compress a lot of stuff. Like Sony's doing that now. Like said, Resident Evil 8, 20 odd gig.
I'll say it's more the fact things like Spyro the Trilogy, where you've got a disc that could hold a lot, but you had the one game on the disc and then you had to download the other two. Like you had that there should theoretically be on the disc. Like they could have fitted it on the disc.
In that case,
that situation
it should be theoretically on a disc. But if it's something that's like a brand new IP, for example, and they've got the foundation of the game and that still works, but then they realize they can fix a lot of the other bugs they've found in the game between the time that they started manufacturing.
Which was basically like Cyberpunk, which they end up doing that. Even though it released broken, they had already had all the discs ready. Like they had 6 months in advance, they had the disc, or 7 months. They had discs were done, ready to go, but they were still working on the game. Then they delayed. Then they rolled out the discs. Let's roll them out and then release patches. So.
Yeah. Back in the day, it used to be when they released the game, they'd release version 1.1. And then later on down the track, you can actually, you'd update it and become version 1.4, and then so on and so forth. That's essentially updates are just improving the game overall. That's how it's always been.
They could just make it where you don't have to install the whole damn game. When it's over 100 gig, that should be
awesome.
Well, they used to. You'd run off the disc, the base game.
PS3s, 360s, keep it like that still. Just give us our
PlayStation 1 days, it would all be on the disc.
Yeah, games were made and then they shipped. Made, disc, done.
Yeah.
Keep it that way.
It would be nice, but there's a lot more that goes into it.
Especially 100 gig, and the game's 20, 30 gig. You got 70 gig there free. You're just wasting space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I think essentially now it's just all the disc is just the base game. You download what's on the disc onto your console, use the updates, and it just all compiles it, and it will grab whatever necessary data off the disc. But it's because now it's all digital, so it doesn't matter if you have the disc or not. You can just download it.
I mean, it's good if you got no net. If your net goes down, just put in your disc. You can play your game, but
but we're not like.
It's only the base game though.
Only the base game, but that may have multiple bugs, or it might have something in there that may not let you play the game at all because it's not recognizing that it has internet connection or something. So it's we're not exactly in the gaming industry to say this is how it exactly works.
My mind's blown how they shrunk that damn game.
Oh, it's insane. That's why I had to plug that in there to mention that, because I knew you'd be
They used WinZip lots. They just kept on WinZipping it and just.
No, because the thing said that the I/O in there is so fucking quick. That's the quickest in the. It's faster than PCs. That's gonna grab files like that.
Oh yeah.
You're doing. because the thing was they didn't duplicate items because they didn't need to.
That's you think about that too. If there's duplication of items, that's extra data. So that could be things
Yeah.
with other versions of games, things being duplicated, say for larger files to try and make it run faster. So they go, well, we'll have this in this
Yeah.
folder here. We'll also have in this folder. So if things doing over here, it will let that here. But if it's doing this over here, it can load the same thing that's here, but in here instead of trying to read to here. Where PlayStation's like, well, we're just got it here. It's all spread out needs to be. This can read to here, to here, to here, to here, and then it works great.
That's what I mean. Like, if you, it's a press conference, like, it is boring as hell. But he goes into, like, all how things connect, how they transfer, and it doesn't make sense to the average, like,
Unless
me.
you really know, well, yeah, if you look.
But he was just reeling off, and I guess now we're starting to see it. So with Resi 8,
Exactly. So it's a start. So it's something. Here's a
not-
little.
sizes.
I've got something a little funny here to plug on to the neck. This is just a little filler here. So this one was pretty funny. I'll send that through to the Discord in the memes tab, so you all get a reference. I did message it to you, but you'll get a reference to it. So it's in the memes tab. I'll send it through. It should be coming through.
hang on,
So
let me have a
basically, Kmart shoppers have recently dubbed these pair of pants as the vagina pants. So I'll send it through to the meme so you get the reference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that.
So I'm like, I have to send this on through to the Discord. At least you can see it straight up, and we get the reference here. This will
Can
be
you
up in the
actually
video.
buy them?
Yeah, the actual Kmart pants at Kmart.
I might just buy it.
I guess they're like the stretchy, saggy pants, which the crunches are always saggy, but because I guess they've laid it flat to make it sit, it's not sitting
I'm out.
properly. It's just sitting
I'm
like that.
this world now. This is. That's it.
Comes
I'm
back later
out.
with some vagina pants.
Back to my home planet.
But yeah, it's just like people are all like through the Kmart shopper community have been like, "What the hell are these pants? These are vagina pants." And it's like, "Yep, well, clearly they're not wrong. It looks like a vagina."
Who signed off on this? Vagina pants. Check.
Well, at least if
Like-
they're doing the model, like they had the model to show it, like to lay it out, like at least laid it out a little bit better than that. Like, oh my god.
Oh god.
Who comes up with these
someone would
ideas?
have to put the photo up on the website and be like, that kind of looks like a. No, it couldn't be.
That's exactly
But it
it. No
does
one thought
kinda
about that.
look like
Like, your first glance at it
maybe.
without even reading the article, your first glance at that, I could have not said anything. You would have just gone, "Yep, that's vagina." Like,
Yeah. Or someone's like looking at it and going, I'll buy 10.
yeah.
You know what they're doing.
Or someone be like, "They're gonna get removed down. I got to buy 20 of them." It's
20 is
just,
a bit drastic.
people are
Yeah,
crazy.
20 is
People are crazy. But yeah, that was just like I thought that was pretty funny. I thought I'll chuck that in there as a little
It's
curveball.
like a cyberpunk situation. Oh, the game looks like trash. Ship it off.
Yeah.
No one said nothing about that.
You mean lack of standards? Is that you were
Yeah.
pointing jab at?
Well, I
Like
mean,
a
they
standard- or not
knew.
standard, but
Benefit of doubt a little bit. They
hierarchy
knew that it was
control.
broken. They knew it was broken. They knew
it
it
was the
still garbage.
hierarchical, like, we won't tell no one else. Just ship it.
It's more the fact that they didn't give demos out. They didn't actually demo. They
Yeah.
weren't honest about
Well,
that
they
part
gave
of it.
out PC codes, like, that was it. Like, that was sussed there.
Yeah.
It's like, where's their Xbox codes? Where's their PS4 codes?
So it's
Yeah, yeah.
one of
Oh,
those
well.
And plus it
things.
was
It's one of
cancelled.
those things.
So
I hope game developers learn now, like, don't do that.
What?
for...
What do you mean? Like, oh, just don't release a game that's broken?
Yeah, like, don't do, like, Fallout
Anthem.
76, Cyberpunk.
Well,
Anthem was good.
Okay, I do have to say, we're in a funny age where AAA games are still technically in development, and where beta games are like being sold like AAA games, and yet they
Yeah.
have more in them than the AAA games.
Like
so, for
Tarkov.
example, if Tarkov or Valheim
Yeah.
right now, it's like
Squad.
still an as far as indie game, and that's got more in it than polished and AAA games. Like
Yeah.
some quality AAA games. If you're going to refer to like COD as well, the games, if you break it down, the game looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, reskinned every single time, but they've got it down to a pat. It looks fantastic, and it is fun.
That's exactly it.
But when they've gotten a bit too lazy on that bit, and they're just literally AAA games are like kind of more like indie games, and indie games are more like AAA games. We're in a kind of a weird phase at the moment where it's kind of like.
But it's also...
people doing it for the love of it, or they're doing it for the money of it, and it kind of shows like the AAA titles they're doing it for the money, and the quality isn't like as good as AAA game as indie games where they're doing it for the love, and that's where everyone's actually seeing it and going, holy shit, these games are actually fucking fun. And we'll throw our money into that, like Among Us, like last year, or what is that? Fall Guys, that was another one.
Beers.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, Phasmophobia, and these are like indie games, and it's kind of like
It's because they haven't got a big parent company going, chuck in some microtransactions, chuck in this, chuck in that.
Yeah.
They're being reasonable. They're not being overkill.
Yeah, or they're releasing it when it's actually, releasable.
Just look at the Avengers game. The story was good. The rest of it's trash.
Oh yeah, story was fantastic. Like
Just the mechanic and everything.
that was fantastic.
That was meant to be a single player game, like no multiplayer. That was just
Oh yeah,
a single player
100%.
story. But who was it? Square Enix were like, let's chuck in some microtransactions and multiplayer and screw the pooch.
Yeah. It's,
Like-
Typical.
if you're gonna put microtransactions,
Actually, was it Square Enix or was it
play
someone else?
a mobile game.
Square Enix and something.
Yeah, well, would they have done the microtransactions?
Square Enix
Like,
have kind of been going that way a little bit themselves. I don't know where along the lines they thought they were. They used to be a big company. I felt
Tomb
like,
Raider never had them,
but
but Avengers did. Like,
it's only recently they've started getting their
Maybe
own.
they thought they could have cashed out on it because Avengers was being cashed out on for the last couple of years. It's a well-known franchise. A lot of people do throw money into it. The comic book lovers have a bit of money to throw around. They do love video games. They love comics. Why not merge the two? It sounded great on paper.
the demos were good because they were single player.
But yeah. Oh yeah, play the demo. It was fantastic. It was fun. It was like the storyline aspect was fantastic. It was just, it was like those microtransactions did.
I mean, those weren't the worst of it. It was fighting the same robot enemies
Oh,
every
yeah,
fucking mission.
Yeah, that was another thing that was kind of like,
Oh.
oh well, for the F's sakes. It's
There was no enemies didn't vary. You had the same map all over again, like the same areas each time, doing the exact same mission.
well, that's going also into games itself. Like this year, I think I said it last time, there wasn't that many games I was excited about, but there are a few now that are popping up. Like I said, Back for Blood was the last one. I was like, oh yeah, that's the only one. But have you guys seen the Aliens new game that's coming out?
Is that done by the original people who did the other shitty Alien game?
No. No, this one's kind of like, think of Left 4 Dead, but with aliens.
But
So you're the
getting back to
Colonial
Blood,
Marines. You're the Colonial Marines. Each you have your engineer, you have your medic, you have your heavy. So it's like the classic Marines, like out of Aliens 2.
Is this a new game we're talking about?
Aliens Fireteam, Fight or something.
Fireteam, I reckon. Sounds right.
Yeah, Fireteam.
I mean, that could be. Don't put microtransactions in it at all.
No, the game looks fantastic. So Aliens Fireteam that's coming out this
That's
year.
what.
It's
not
like Aliens with Left 4 Dead. So you've got the classic Aliens, you've got the pulse rifles, you've got the smart guns, you've got the shotguns. You can lay down turrets. It's like everything you wanted to see out of like the Aliens 2 movie, where you see the Marines just taking on,
getting that for PC,
rows and rows of aliens just running at you. And you've got your different types of aliens, you've got your defenders, your spitters, chargers, all that kind of stuff. Well, a lot of stuff out of like the lore, which is fantastic. But the game looks sick, and it's up there with a Left 4 Dead. If you like,
Is there gameplay on YouTube or something?
Yeah, there's gameplay and there's a trailer.
Do you want a game on not a budget, but do you want a game that's like that, but not the Alien franchise? By Earthfall.
Earthfall. Oh yeah.
it's Left 4 Dead with aliens.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Colonial Marines.
To be fair, I mean, I have heard
Like
of it.
it's legit. Like it's legit Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
But the zombies are basically reskin or remechanicked, but they're aliens.
Yeah.
So you can do everything you could do in Left 4 Dead.
But
I think Back 4 Blood's going to be the multiplayer game of the year.
The thing, the general mechanic, I think everyone prefers zombies in that format. Realistically,
Back 4 Blood's not zombies really. They're like just monsters now. Like
kind of monsters.
Still, yeah.
Like that big freaking thing. That thing was huge.
But they're still well. That's what Left 4 Dead was. Like Left 4 Dead had the zombies, but they had like the lanky dude that like, ripped it on, and then the big fat guy.
But Aliens Fireteam, check out the footage. If you love the Alien if you love the classic Alien franchise, watch the second one. Ripley,
I remember much
all that kind of stuff. It's those colonial it's the battle that you always wanted to see. That wasn't just the ending.
It's technically not canon, but it's that kind of fan service game, being like, let's just get the character you want. Let's just put it in a universe and use kind of thing. Because when you watched all those movies, they never really had mass sprawls of like a bazillion aliens coming at you constantly going. But like this is the fan service.
This is what you get. This is what you finally wanted to see and experience. Like I played the original AVP 1 and 2, which there was a bit where you play as Marines and you're taking on rows of aliens that are just running around. There was this awesome map where it was just, you come down, it's open, wide area, and there's this bunker in the middle. And you can hold up into the bunker and just be like, shoot out with the pulse rifles and try and kill as many aliens as you can. And they'll eventually get inside if you stay in there too long, because they'll crawl at the walls and break open the panels. This is like that.
I can imagine they'll have some DLC, maybe play as the Predator.
I
would not be surprised.
Is it out this year?
But yeah, this game looks sick. It's another one that I'm excited for, besides Back 4 Blood.
You might get to play as Jonesy.
Jonesy?
From Fortnite.
Wow.
No. And if someone says, that's from Fortnite, when they look at Fireteam, I'm just going to...
Me and, I can't remember who was making a meme about that last night. Oh, me and my mate, Nebula.
I'll put up
I thought it was Pepsi Waifu.
Yeah, Pepsi Waifu. It's Nebula's thing. Pepsi Waifu. We'll go Pepsi Waifu. Yeah, we're making fun of that where we're like, oh, we could cosplay our favorite character. I'm dressed as Iron Man from Fortnite. I'm dressed as the Mandalorian from Fortnite. It's like we're gonna have. This is the problem. We're gonna actually have a generation of kids that are gonna it's already started where someone's gone. Look, and they were serious. It's Master Chief from Fortnite. It's just like...
Yes, I've seen those memes, and it makes me very, very angry.
Because there are some people that are legit. Like, that's the problem, because we have this gap, like, the fact that people don't know Terminator. Like, there's a generation of kids that won't know Aliens, they won't know Terminator, they don't know Predator, and then they'll be like, look, it's Predator from Fortnite. Or it could be little Timmy. Look, Daddy! It's my favourite character. Look, it's Blade. It's Blade.
No, I'm not gonna.
Remember when we spoke about who's in Fortnite next?
Dying inside.
Bloody
This is not what.
I'm thinking Marcus Phoenix and JD.
Oh god. Yeah, I would not be surprised. The way they're going, I could not be surprised.
Like, Marcus Phoenix makes sense. Master Chief does not. Marcus does.
Well, it's because it all comes up to Donald Mustard. I've said this before. Donald Mustard. He depends on what he likes.
Gears of War in there, he's not a real gamer.
He likes Halo. I don't know if he's mentioned anything about bloody Gears. So I don't know.
Wookie, no.
What is he doing? Posting memes?
Nothing.
Oh no, is he on a meme sprawl? Is he posting memes now in the not safe for work?
No memes.
I just meme.
That dude from Fortnite, they copy Fortnite. Whoever created this, I hate you because you copy Fortnite.
In the United States, abortion is a safe and legal way to end a pregnancy.
That's how I feel. That's I'm supposed to be.
That's how you feel about people that they go, that's that from Fortnite.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Let's have a quick look.
I'm not gonna say it because it's cancel culture will kick my ass.
Oh, it's a video. I have to watch it after, so no one can get that.
I'm just very much like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Just this is where education has gone wrong.
But that's the problem. There's going to be a legit generation. Like, it's cool that we're getting these things in it. But there's going to be a legit generation.
It's from Borderlands.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah. See, you feel my anger. Take it inside.
You're talking about the psycho that's already in. You're talking about the psycho that's in Fortnite.
Live with me.
Wait, is it saying that someone's gone? Look, I'm playing
Yeah.
a psycho from Fortnite. Is it like that kind of thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
You
It's
guys,
one of
it's for Fortnite. I'm like, where?
Not from Borderlands.
It says Borderlands. You'll see it from 2007 or so.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's you know what's gonna be.
But it's
frustrating
more the
for us?
fact that these things are still relevant.
Yes.
It's going to be worse than Terminator. Someone's going to be saying, "Look, it's Terminator from Fortnite," because they have not seen the movies. There's like, yeah, it's cool that we're getting this. We get the reference. Like, it's more focused towards us. Like, he's in that age bracket. We're like, I'm buying it because it's my nostalgia childhood. I'll happily buy it because I want these characters. But yeah, there's going to be kids. They'll be like, I bought this new character because it looks cool and it's this character from Fortnite. It's like, it's not. It's from the Terminator, and I'll back you.
Yeah.
If they said about Kratos, I'm going to be taking heads.
I could post it up.
Is there a Kratos one as
There's the
well?
Kratos one as well.
Oh,
But the biggest thing that we got at the moment, going off of this, the biggest thing to segue from this, before we go any further, the biggest thing that's happening at the moment is we've got Donald Mustard is working with DC for his new, I think it's 6-part 0-point comic, Batman Cross Fortnite. And apparently it's gotten that messed up now that Fortnite is near on becoming law with DC. Because of the multiverse. Which is kind of funny because if you work it all out, if you watch the Marvel movies, Korg is playing Fortnite. Fortnite exists in the DC universe. This is going to actually make DC exist within the Marvel universe.
which is stupid.
It's now connected them to the Marvel universe. So we've actually got media that's actually, it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's...
Hang on, are we getting Justice League versus Avengers? Like sometime
It
soon?
could happen. It could happen. Now where we're going, it could happen. We might actually get...
Batman versus Avengers?
We
There's
might
a
actually get an actual movie or an actual crossover, like actual...
Alright, let me just get really angry about this right
Yeah,
now.
go on, rant time.
Yeah.
We're allowed.
I loved it when they did Power Rangers mixed with crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I was fine
Turtles with Batman.
when they did. I was ecstatic when they did the whole multiverse DC. That was great. I was even fine when they did a Ninja Turtles mixed with Batman.
That was cool.
That was pretty good. But I draw the line at Fortnite with DC.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I draw the line
It's
because
crazy.
we're gonna have, because it's gonna be, they're gonna ruin. It's getting to the point where it's not going, oh, nostalgia, living the nostalgia. They're getting to the point where they're ruining our nostalgia. It's not like reliving it. They're literally destroying our nostalgia.
Well, with this,
funny.
with this 0.6-part comic,
Fuck you.
with this 0-point series, it's actually done by Donald Mustard. He's actually had written input to the story, and apparently it's going to reveal more of Fortnite's background story, which is crazy.
What it should be, the zombies and...
Well, it's going to explain the whole 0-point. It's going to explain a lot more backstories, which is kind of funny that Batman is going to explain more to Fortnite than Fortnite can itself. It's just like, did you really need Batman to explain a different media? Like,
No,
couldn't
no,
you do it yourself? Couldn't you just do it
No,
yourself?
you don't, because you know why? Because they're there to sell more Batman. Because kids like Batman because he's from Fortnite.
Batman, and that's the thing too,
Batman's
because
from Fortnite.
well, this is the funny thing. If you buy the first issue of the 0-point comic, you get a code for a Harley Quinn skin, which doesn't have a belly button.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the character looks really weird because she's got like this massive midriff and there's no belly button. It's very unsettling to the eyes.
Is that a style choice, or is that a...
It's very unsettling. It looks really weird. But there's the first issue, and apparently the last issue of the series gives a code for an exclusive armored Batman that's in the comic as well. So I'm like, fuck, now I've got to buy these comic book series, which at the same time I kind of want them to know what the fuck's going on. I know, but I'm like, I need to know what's going on. I need my free skin. Well, not free skins, I'm paying for them anyway. But I want to know what's going on. Apparently, there's a guy on YouTube. He's now basically partnered. He's an Epic partner now. He's got himself up there because he's done a lot of Fortnite coverage. He's looking at making an animated, like using the game in-game content, because I'm guessing he's going to get access. By the sound of it, I'm assuming he's going to get access to the skins. By the sounds of how he's explaining, like if he gets enough likes, he's like, enough getting enough likes, I'll make a in-game version telling the same story as the comic books. So therefore, I'm guessing he's going to get the skins. He's going to have all the stuff. He's going to be able to actually transition how it would match the comics. So, but I'm like, that's interesting as well. That if you don't buy the comics, you're going to be able to most probably watch it on YouTube as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes as well. Which I'm like,
Remember when Fortnite was a cool game idea?
Yeah, save the world.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they dropped it dead. But they keep releasing Founders Packs with skins, different skins each time for Founder Packs, which are like $30.
I was keen for that Fortnite.
This is why I drink, boys. This is why I drink.
I like playing. I've been playing Save the World though again lately. I've been getting back into Save the World.
Are they ever going to release that?
Nope.
Like,
It's behind a paywall now.
No.
They came out and said that they're putting it behind a paywall. It's staying behind the paywall. But do you know how you're going to buy it? You're still going to buy it under the Founders. The thing shouldn't be called Founder Packs anymore. If you're not releasing the game...
I actually
no,
own
$30.
The day, but I got it before it was how it was. Before it was all multiplayer. I had... Yeah.
I was keen for Fortnite, 2014, when it was like first shown?
I've got a whole bunch of these.
Wow.
So...
Down.
Come at me!
I have Fortnite on disc.
What, 5 times?
Four times, I guess.
4 times? Why?
Well, it was because they were cheap and it was easy to get. It was cheaper way to get the V-Bucks, basically.
God.
But this legit has the original code. If I could access this, has the original code to the OG Fortnite multiplayer, the original map and stuff.
Buy one?
The fact
Can I
that
buy one, destroy it, just to get one...
Buy and destroy it.
You're gonna make a TikTok and just snap.
Oh. The fact that they're like OG Fortnite.
One less copy of the game in the world.
So I've been buying them up. So
I mean, I get Fortnite's popular, but I'm still not playing it, and I'll still bag it.
Yeah.
Fortnite is not Fortnite. Fortnite is Save the World.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I will agree with you that. But
Yeah, I got it originally for Save the World. But
But
then
what
they
extra
just
numbers?
made it multiplayer and that became more famous. And I was like, okay, that's...
And then the fact that they gave up on their original
Yeah.
direction idea is the worst. That's what irks me the most, is that they gave up. They basically
Because
not
with
that
the
was
money,
the
the money.
thing. There was no other game like that. Like, you built your tower thing, you defended it.
Well, the thing was as well, the microtransactions were always going to be the way they've got them, but they were going to work more solidly. Like, they still kind of work with Save the World, but their skin, like, you still have your heroes you unlock, and the Battle Royale characters you get, they're more like skins for your characters that you put on that you already have. So you could have Raven or, like, Ragnarok or something, but then you could skin him with, like, Deadpool or Iron Man, which it's cross character. But originally what they were going to go with how it would have worked, because they were going to have more own characters, it's because Donald Musk got carried away and gotten all the characters in now. Save the World was going to have characters you did unlock anyway. You can unlock a wide variety of characters. And it's just like, they've just given up on everything. It's like, now you got to copy and paste things across what it feels like, and it's just like, what? They even said like it was going to end at a certain time and you couldn't use any new skins you bought, but like it still works. I'm like, everything contradicts itself. Like, everything they've done just contradicts itself. So
Yes, because it only fails when your credit card declines.
But the fact they've still got so many different, every couple of months they still bring out a new Founders Pack with a new skin to buy. But then if you
still
don't,
going, like,
yep, still called
the
Founders
Founders
Pack.
Pack.
Yep, they're still called Founder Packs. They're not just called buying Save the World. Like, it's still referred to as a Founders Pack. Like, when
Save the World's not coming out. Like, it's always going
it's
to be
behind a paywall now. They've come out and said that it's behind a paywall. Like, Save the World is a paid-to-play version, not
They
free
don't
version.
need to do that because they're getting money from the Battle Royale.
Yeah, exactly. They're still making heaps of money, but it's just fucked
Like,
up.
if Save the World was free, I would definitely play it. But
You forced my hand.
But the problem is as well, if you own it on
Forced
console,
my hand.
if you own it on your console, any account on that console gets access to Save the World as well.
yeah,
So you can technically buy it once and then you get access. You just don't get the free bonus llamas like I do, because I'm at that privileged spot still. The amount of times they've given me content because they've stuffed up and they've gone, oh crap, we've made this. Here's something free again. here's something free again, because they keep changing something. They go, oh, here's something free just to make up for our mistakes. So they kind of do make up for it a few times.
We got the same glass as well, man.
It's his proper drinking glass.
You get the big toolie?
Yeah, totally. It's...
But
It's talking about Fortnite in this way has destroyed.
before we go
my
on to the next biggest thing, which
No,
is
it's hell, man.
before you go on talking about you got any other news there, Jim? Before we go on with the other one, I know you got something. I'll let you squeeze in your news topics so I can get them out of the way. I've got one thing that doesn't need to be.
Okay, I mean this is a big one. But have you played Immortals, Wookie? Phoenix Rising?
Immortals?
Immortals? Yeah. No, Zelda like.
No.
I mean, if anyone's
I
played it,
don't know. I've had a few drinks. I might have.
oh,
Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, Immortals on the 25th of March is getting a expansion called Myths of the Eastern Realms. It's expansion 2 out of 3. So
Can I play as Kratos?
no, but there's it's
yeah,
inspired by Chinese mythology. Got a new open world, a new
Monkey?
character, new story elements.
Monkey?
No.
Monkey.
One new hero called Ku.
Ku?
You play as Ku, not
Who's Ku?
Phoenix. I've no idea. Oh,
Is
I think you play as.
Is it Monkey?
That's Ku.
Monkey?
Monkey. Monkey. Fucking last night.
That's one of my buttons now on my my stream now.
Yeah.
I finally figured out how to, like I said, I finally figured out how to set up my own sounds and gifs now that I have unlimited.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
sick. I came in, you had the big monkey face.
Monkey.
Okay.
This one you talked about before, didn't we? About the God of War comic that fills in the gap between 3 and.
Oh, I
God of
mentioned
War.
to you we haven't talked about it though, but yes.
But that is now available from Dark Horse Comics. It's now out.
Ooh.
Which
Yeah,
I
because
might
we
get
were
it,
talking about the other day. They're talking about because before that came, it was funny. Before that came up, I was like, we need a thing to. I think I mentioned we needed a thing to bridge the gap between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And then, ironically enough, they're like, oh look, there's a new comic. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like I was just talking about it. We need something to bridge the gap. And like, oh, here's the gap bridger. Always the way.
I'm gonna have to grab it because I want to know what happened to Kratos in that time.
Oh, I want to know what's going on. Like, especially to see where he gone from Greece to get to.
Because you've played 3, haven't you?
Yeah.
3.
I know the ending of 3. I haven't played fully of 3. I played most
Now
of
you're
3.
playing the new one now, and that's so fucking different. Like
So
Kratos has
different.
changed.
Well, straight up from the get-go, playing the game, it's completely different. Like the play style is different. Like because the
It's
first 3 were just
slower.
combat. Well, it was a different perspective, and it was just combat puzzles.
Yeah.
This is more cinematic. This is more of a cinematic play. Like you still got the combat, but it feels cinematic the whole way through.
The whole game's one. There's not one camera jump. Like the whole game is.
No,
one
I've noticed
shot.
that. I love the fake. Like it's fake photography, whatever. I don't know what your term is, but like it feels like someone's
The
actually
camera's
there
always
filming it.
on Kratos. Like it's always on him.
The cutscenes are cool because you see that transition. Because I've only just started the game where I fought the stranger at the very start. Now I've just recently played it.
Oh yeah.
But like the transition of characters where it looks like a guy's got the camera and he's running with it to pan up. Like they've actually
Right.
made it look like, so they must have in-game, like the new tech that they've got now, where people can, they have a set built up and then someone actually holds a camera and runs with it and they mark it in. And so you can
Yeah.
actually do, and I think they've done that, they must have done that because
they
some of the
just
things
track
they've done,
that.
yeah. Because it feels like some of the stuff they do feels like that because they've got the right bob, how they pan, everything moves. It feels like someone's got the screen, it's in this open world and they just press play and then the cameraman films what he needs to film with the camera.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's
the thing, like-
insane, and then it like seamlessly drops in and locks nicely in, and then you continue to play, and then it comes out, it's like, whoo, and then it like runs and does all these nice. It's like insane. I see what you mean. Like it's phenomenal.
Because you watch the behind the scenes, that whole game was motion captured, like the whole game.
It's
With
crazy.
just that one camera dude, like, doing everything. I think. Like,
Yeah, it's done so well.
That, and I think The Last of Us as well. That's not one jump. That's not one camera, though. But
A similar
that's
kind
all
of
done. Like it's all motion capture.
mocap. Yeah.
Which I like that more than if you make the animations, they could be janky. But if you're going off a reference of someone's performance,
I've
you
just been
won't get the jank.
Well, now that I'm into it, I'm just been love throwing the axe. I've gotten really into it now. I'm just loving it. I'm like,
It's like
oh.
fucking Thor.
Yeah, it was like that, but I just love it. I'm just like, ha, throw axe, call back, throw axe, call back, throw axe. And then the fact that he hits him on the way through, knocks him on the way back, and like does stuff, and just like different spots where it hooks onto
hit, like,
something.
multiple people with it too. It's like,
Well, if you're smart about it, because I actually did a maneuver where a guy was running, like I threw it, and it stuck on a wall, and a guy was charging at me, and I pulled it back, and just at the right time, so it knocked him in the back of the head, like I used it strategically. It's like, throw! It's
Have
like
you noticed-
flies. It's just, oh.
You notice when you punch someone, you feel the impact, like there's
Oh, the vibration.
weight behind it, like, oh. There's a lot of weight behind these.
I love that the god mode that he has. It's so good. Just that rage, the rage, yeah. It's like shaking, and it's just like the extra power behind it, the jumps and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
And
no,
you rip
it's,
people in half. Just.
oh, it's so satisfying. Like, I've really gotten into it. I'm definitely going to be playing
I
up for
want
that
to play it
tomorrow.
again.
I'm like, no, I'm finally going to play it. I'm going to sit down and start playing it. Jack was like, he couldn't take his eyes off of it. And there's that scene where you got the deer, where you
got
the
the
deer,
bone.
and he's like, you need to son, you need to stab it. And he goes, I'm like, Jack, look away. He's like, I'm like, no, look away. He's like, like, that's right. You get away. You're not watching this. They didn't end up showing you how I thought it was going to happen. But I was like, still, don't look. But he was just like, oh. He was like gobsmacked the whole time. He was just drawn into it. So I think I've got a little follower to watch. So
just wait. You got this. Starts nothing.
Oh,
Starts
it's so
nothing.
good though. I wanted to just keep playing. It was so good. I'm missing out.
This one. Did you see the HBO kerfuddle with Tom and Jerry?
Oh, yes, the people
Oh,
went to watch
yes.
it, and
Yeah, I heard
Justice
about
League
that.
instead. They got
Yeah,
Justice League.
yeah.
The kid people wanted, but I'm like, that's kind of funny. People wanted to watch
10
Tom and
Days
Jerry.
Jerry.
I'm like, really? People wanted to watch
Oh.
Tom and Jerry? I guess so. Like, I mean, I kind of want to watch Tom and Jerry, but
I mean, it does look good. Like I've seen parts of it, but like getting Justice League.
but is that
like,
a bad thing though?
By accident, yeah.
Is that a bad thing? I would have been like,
No, fuck.
I would have pressed play for Tom and Jerry and like started that. I'm like, oh fuck! I would have been running the house going, ow, ow! It's Justice League! Crap! I'm gonna get ready for this! I'm not ready for this! I'm not ready for this! How do I go for it?
Would
You know.
bring up your phone, start recording it, to start a cut. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would have lost my shit. It's a shame that
I mean-
we don't have HBO in Australia.
It's just
Apparently,
weird
we are
that,
getting it soon.
Yeah, it's just
Time
of this
for
month.
the Snyder Cut. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Not this month. I should check that out.
Because HBO Max, we need that. 'Cause the Snyder Cut comes out in 4 days or 5 days or something.
I'm keen for the Snyder Cut, but I'm also keen for Tom and Jerry. So
Tom and Jerry's.
Tom and Jerry's, Tom and
Jerry's,
Seinfeld,
The ice cream. The ice cream.
Tom and
Tom and
Seinfeld.
Jerry's. Oh, that'd be good right now. Oh,
Hey, hey, you see that thing? That. Why am I sound like Cleveland?
But I mean, if you got
Hi.
HBO Max, just keep
Peter.
spamming Tom and Jerry. You might get Justice League.
That's true.
Also, Need for Speed, man,
Mhm.
has been delayed in favor of the new Battlefield game.
Which
So,
Need for Speed?
the new one coming out. I don't know what it's called. I don't think anyone
I
knows
didn't
yet.
know. I didn't even know if there was a
No.
new one. Is it just going to be a rehash of an old
It's
one?
been it's a new one, but it's been delayed for the next Battlefield game.
Didn't even
so-
know there was a new one. So to me, I'm like, oh well, tough shit.
I mean, Heat was good. We didn't really need one so quick.
Yeah, did a bit of a turnaround. They had the Heat, and didn't they have another one that was another remake, a remaster or something?
Not Most Wanted. Carbon? No, I don't know.
Another
I forget what
master. It was most. No, I can't. No, it is Most Wanted. There's another Most Wanted coming out or something. It was
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, yay, Battlefield. If it's not Bad Company 3, scrap it.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
7,
No,
or
I'm on that same. Yeah. It's not
No,
bad
I mean,
company.
we
21.
need
Was
to
it 21
finish the
something?
Bad Company story. Like, we've had
Yeah.
1 and 2, and then it's still
Give us
open.
3.
Like, give us the third.
It's been too long not to give us 3. Like, just give us 3. Maybe that's why. Maybe it is going to be Bad Company 3. That's why they're persistent on working on it over Need for Speed. So.
I don't reckon. I think it'd be Battlefield 6. To be fair.
It'd be
Or
Battlefield,
2.
it'd be Battlefield
Battlefield
18.
1, 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever they decide, like World War II or something, or
Yeah, but you can't do that because
No,
COD
Jim,
realised actually you can do
it's
that.
going to be Battlefield 18.
Battlefield 8.
Wait, no, correction. It'd be Battlefield 19.
And you get iron bars.
19 metal bars!
Wow. Well, no, actually, I wouldn't mind if they
I'm losing
did
track of my
if it's
numbers.
Bad Company, or if they did a futuristic one.
like a continuation of 2142, was it?
Yeah, 2172 or whatever it was. Yeah. Like the futuristic one.
That was the futuristic one. 20.
Yeah.
It was more focused on the multiplayer over its campaign, I think it was. But they need to do like a futuristic campaign. Like I want to see them take a stab at a futuristic, like actually do something where it's not, because they've kind of been like based loosely on history and stuff, and it's like trying to be like take what they've learnt from being with Star Wars, take what they've learnt being sci-fi, grab that, make their own sci-fi. And tell their own sci-fi story, completely open-barred, no going from history, like
Modern Warfare and
Star Wars.
Like, they did their own thing there.
Because it's all been old and it's all been like, yeah, it's just like I want to see them do their own thing, actually do their own thing. Don't like you have open free reign, not sticking to any like boundaries of like this is how things went this way, this is how law was. Like just do their own range, like have like because guns they had to make guns that matched, you know, they've always been like matching to what history is like. Actually make their own guns doing what they want. Like they could make guns that shoot freaking rockets out of their thing. I don't know, not the new Fortnite, but like, you know, make free range laser beams. Like
Fortnite again, not for the rest of this stream.
Yeah.
Not for the rest of the podcast.
Drinking hard like I'm thinking it.
But
it's
yeah,
destroying my pop culture life.
Pop cultural life.
My memories.
Well, the end of the season for this latest season in 4 days for Australian. 4 days for the new season to start, and they're having an event where you can join at any time and play your own story mode through the eyes of Jonesy. I think you're playing as Jonesy for the like anytime you load into the final event or something like that. Oh yeah.
See?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you get to play as Jonesy, and it's their own thing. So I thought I'd plug that as well. Pretty cool.
Daz, you played the ancient ones from Doom, didn't you? Doom Eternal. Ancient
No,
ones.
I haven't played the DLC yet. Don't twist my titties like this. There's the new second part coming.
New news coming.
Part 2.
Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah, Ancient Gods Part 2 teaser in 2 days.
I haven't had the money to buy the part. The
DLC.
Drop the bass. Drop the bass.
And also, I've just got one little thing left. Just it's pointless.
Drop your little thing if you want.
Microsoft and Bethesda deal's done now.
That's not little. It's my biggest news I've left for the end of my notes. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of little. It's not that big. It's not that big at all.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal, really.
All it basically is the biggest news realistically that came out from that was when they first mentioned that there was a deal going down. That was the biggest news.
Yeah.
Basically, this is the type now that it's actually officially done. Hands
It's
are
finally
tied.
been approved.
Dicks and nuts have been tied together. They're all part of the family now. I don't know.
No, they're not. They're in their own bracket away from the other studios, really.
So basically,
like, they're in the vault. Whether they called it like the vault or something.
Yeah.
Like
it's the vault thing, but it's still basically partnered up with Microsoft. They fully own them now.
it's just stupid how they got them separate. Like they're not under Microsoft. They're still
Maybe
Bethesda and shit. Like
It's
in vault. I don't get it.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically, with the whole takeover thing, so they now officially claimed Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios.
Yep.
That's what they've claimed from that whole merge.
Yeah, they're in their own section of Microsoft.
Under the vault, whatever it is. So it's quite a bunch of things, but they'll still be doing what they're doing. Everyone's having a kerfuffle still again because it's come back up again, but...
Yeah, it would be interesting
games...
what comes out.
Yeah, well, the
especially,
games,
you know,
they've
later
got a
in
whole
the year.
bunch. Is it today they've all dropped, or is it coming...
Yesterday.
Yesterday, which is out today. Is it out today?
18 games yesterday.
So they're all up now on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, and you've got
On
back of...
console and PC.
So if you've got a backlog of those that you want to play, definitely play them.
So did Morrowind, which is weird. Like
Morrowind, Oblivion, like old school, like OG, like...
I would play Morrowind today. Like no offense.
Yeah, but aren't they going to release some kind of details on the new Elder Scrolls
6
game soon?
Yeah, 2024.
I basically just want to start up
Next couple
Morrowind.
months.
I mean, all I want to do is start up Morrowind again and just start that first few 10 minutes, whatever it was, where you walk to that spot and the dude just falls out of the sky. That's all I want, because that's basically I never played much of Morrowind. I tried getting through most of it, never really played much of it. That's the bit that I'll always remember where you're just moseying along, you hear this and he's just like, and you read his notes, like, oh, I've tried to do the teleportation flying spell, whatever it was. It's like, Cool. He just killed himself. Good luck to him.
It'd be fun if they patched that out though. It's like, oh, he's not here.
The biggest
Hello?
meme. I'm like waiting for him. Like, where is he?
I mean, the main thing is,
You what,
they
Jack?
said some games will be exclusive,
You don't
some
even eat a
won't.
guinea pig?
Yeah.
So
I eat poo-poo,
it's
apparently.
on a game by game basis, which makes sense. Like, I don't think Wolfenstein, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, they'll be multiplat.
Well,
still.
in other words, they're already on those other platforms, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's just new
Yeah,
IP.
it's new IP. It's
just new
completely
IPs.
new from the scratch. From like anything they come up with, that people freaking out going, "Oh, Elder Scrolls is going to be Xbox exclusive." No, that's the one thing that gets me the most. It's not new. They announced it so long ago, so therefore that's still old.
No,
And those kind of
all
IPs.
All the Elder Scrolls games will be still multiplat.
Yeah, exactly. So anything like Elder Scrolls or anything that they do like Doom stuff like that, they will still be.
And it doesn't matter anyway, because if Microsoft owns Bethesda, Bethesda is selling games even to PlayStation. Microsoft's making money off PlayStation games.
Yeah. That's
So
the
it
thing, like,
doesn't matter.
if they really cut everyone off, they're losing a lot of people. Like if they cut off PlayStation,
Yeah,
But
that,
it's a smart move for any big company to buy a company. What I always say, people like they just smart.
I mean, Bethesda, they didn't need to be bought really. Like ZeniMax, they were doing fine.
They bought everything up just to, I guess, partner up. But like basically, it's like when basically it's the same situation when Microsoft bought Mojang. Like they didn't make it exclusive to Xbox. Like it's not exclusive to Microsoft. It's still on all platforms. And look how much money they're making from it. Like look how much Mojang has grown as a company because they've had someone to support them.
Are they
like-
making any more games or just Minecraft?
It's just Minecraft. the old was it whatever his I can't remember his name now.
Dungeons.
The guy who used to own the
Oh,
company.
yeah,
he's left
Minecraft
and
Dungeons.
He still makes
Released
indie games, like that guy that owned Mojang, who found it himself.
Oh, but he left.
He
or
left,
something?
and he's still doing his whatever he does
Is that
still.
when they got bought? Do you reckon?
Hey,
Was that them? Was that when they got bought? And he's like, "See yous."
basically, yeah, they bought it. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll sign up for this, whatever.
Yeah.
Moved on. 'Cause
He's
he did what he did. Well, he did what he did, and that's all he wanted to do. Because the Minecraft was like a game jam game. Like he did it for a game fest, like build contest thing. It was just for shits and gigs, and he's done thing, and it took off. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm not in it for this whole thing. And he got the massive pay. And he's like, sweet, that's fine. I can live comfortably. But like, he's like, take it, whatever. Like it was just a thing that I did. That was this thing. You got people that can work on it. You don't need me anymore. Which is exactly it. You get to that point where it's like, meh, it can keep making money, but I don't want to be caught up in the politics of things. So that's why he's.
I mean,
I'll take
I've
that move
seen
on.
it. I was on YouTube last night, and I've already seen, PlayStation's dead. They've got no Bethesda. I'm like, do they not watch things from Phil Spencer?
People
He
make
did
no
it-
sense. Like
Like
people think
Todd
they're dead.
Howard
Like
said
it's
they're going to be multiplayer. Like they're not cutting off anything.
like it's stupid
And-
because if they make it super exclusive, like
I mean, I've got PC.
Yeah.
I don't care. It go exclusive. I'm just playing on PC.
they've already got they already have games that are under those development that have timed exclusives. There's like the 2 games that are coming out on PS5. They're timed exclusives.
Deathloop and
Yeah, and and people going, oh, it's like, well, things like that are still going to exist. Like, if anything, games will be maybe time exclusive to Xbox, and then they'll come out on PlayStation. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'd imagine half of these exclusives aren't going to be massive hits. Like, they're not going to be anything groundbreaking. Like, anything groundbreaking is going to be on
I've
all
said it
platforms.
before.
Like, they'll try and do one.
Anything Bethesda made recently has been trash. No offense to them.
Exactly, no offense. And I feel like if they try and do anything, I feel like Microsoft will try and pull the card, being like, we're going to make this best game that's going to, like, change the way it's for Xbox, try and get people over. It's not going to work. It's going to come out, try and be this amazing thing. They're going to overhype it, it's going to be trash. And it's just going to be one of those things.
I do have to defend Bethesda Doom. That's the latest
No,
one.
but they didn't
Only-
make
but
that. Though.
that's more...
Bethesda
Yeah.
made games like Fallout and have just gone.
Oh, we're back.
Well, Fallout is I'm a
Fallout
huge
4,
fan of Fallout. I mean, like massive, because I played 1 and 2.
Yeah, but
It's
3
just
and 4
where it is.
compared
Yeah, like I was kind of a bit angry when they moved to first person, but I got over it. And then I played New Vegas, and I was like, it made up my expectation.
That wasn't Bethesda though. That's the main thing. They didn't touch that.
I know. I'm not gonna.
It's
Yeah, but you
Bethesda,
know what I
man.
mean.
They've lost their They're sticking to the past. Like, oh, this will work. This worked then. Just
You
keep
mean
doing
this
it.
is a good IP? It made money in the past. We'll keep running with it. Let's just slap on a couple of things. Let's just use that name. That name sells, and we'll start selling
You
whatever
remember
shit
playing-
that's piled onto it.
Fallout 3. The game was good, I'm like, oh, Fallout 4. I play it. I'm like, this is not good. This is not good.
Yeah,
That Preston,
Fallout 4 did deviate from the original. Like, I would say it deviated from the.
it's more of a base builder survival. Like,
Yeah, it was an enjoyable game. It was an enjoyable game. Don't get me wrong, but it did deviate from the core of the game.
yeah,
Like,
I just wanted Fallout, not that kind of Fallout. Like, I just
yeah,
wanted to give me a set thing to do, not.
it was exploration and all that kind of stuff. It was nice, like in Fallout 3, where it was like, oh, I got a house, sweet, I did that. But then they just grabbed it from that aspect and ran with it like 110%, which in some cases, that's awesome. Like, I did actually enjoy that aspect of base building, all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
But
I hated it. I couldn't build a base. Everything bugged out on me, and
okay, yeah, no, that was fun. That was the fun aspect that took me ages. But it turned me away. Like, if they did a game that was just that, and you went out and you could play the game just as that.
like Fallout 76. Now that's good. Like now, today, Fallout
There's
76,
limits to that. You just can't really do it willy nilly everywhere. It's
I mean, you couldn't
fine.
before, but like, I preferred that over Fallout 4.
Yeah, I did like it when they implemented the underground bunker aspect of it, where you could build your own vault. That was awesome. I do have to say, like, I am defending Bethesda because
I'm not saying they're trash, but they need to.
I'm not saying
innovate.
they're trash. It's just that they, like, Fallout 76 was a bad example because it was broken on release, but just to show that. Oh, not too early. It's just, yeah, it was like, if you went back to it later on, a year later, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I jumped back into it. I was like, yeah, this is great. But the only problem was that I was going back into it solo, and there was like this massive player gap that was like, oh, I should have just kept on playing.
Yeah, because you're a bit behind.
But it wasn't just that. It was just some of the aspects of the Fallout universe wasn't in there, like the NPCs, the event, like the random events that you have.
NPCs. There was no one.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was no NPCs. That was half the reason why I'm like, what's the point? Like, sure, you walk to the wasteland, but if you're the only person, it's, what am I going to reproduce here with, buddy?
Like, I was online, I found no one else. Like, it was empty. Like,
oh yeah,
one person
came on, there was no one on. Yeah, but I'm just saying it took away some of the essence of the game. Like, if you didn't have the NPCs, you were talking to AIs and robots, which is like, no, this is not like this isn't Fallout. So they just kind of missed the nail on the head, so to speak, when they did first release it. But they did make up for it by bringing.
Yeah, I mean, they also fucked up more by putting the overpriced stuff in there before, didn't it?
Oh yeah, yes, I'm very familiar with that. Like the you're saving this by 20%. By the way, the original price was this anyway. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Bethesda started microtransactions in fucking Oblivion. Was it Oblivion? Where you get to buy a horse and that was it, like just a horse.
Don't get me wrong, microtransactions have always been around.
Yeah, but not like
in one form or another.
Bethesda really kicked it off with that damn horse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was that. But then there was Elder Scrolls as well, or Oblivion. All you had to do was, like, if you played it on PC, you just downloaded a mod, and then you had the skin anyway, and it didn't really matter. Yeah, well, that's why.
Just mod your games. Good
well,
fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many mods that are coming out, like for games that have been out for ages. Or if there's not mods, there's creators creating updated versions of the game.
Like on Skyrim, you can make the whole game look super real now. Like,
yeah, it's well, there's one I just came across. I can't remember the name. I think it's like Stalker SE or something. But it's, if you've played the original Stalker games, someone's actually making the entire first Stalker game using Unreal Engine. So they're updating all the graphics. They're making it look absolutely amazing.
Are they going to put that on Steam? Are they?
Not sure. I'm gonna still look into it. I only just found out about it yesterday.
Oh,
But like, yeah, there's a lot of creators out there that were just doing it for literally for free. Like this mod or game is Unreal version of Stalker.
Well, then
They're
it's going
doing
to be
it for
good
absolutely
because
free.
they're putting their hard work into it to make it good.
Yeah, and this is why I'm going towards where indie games or independent,
I wouldn't call them
independent
indie. I
developers.
just call them passion projects, really.
Yeah, the passion projects, because they have more accessibility to, like using Unreal Engine or other programs similar to that, and because they're so well made that you can just start making assets and everything else for it a lot quicker and move along, and even with a smaller team, you can make a AAA game.
Yeah, looking at you, Ubisoft.
Or at least, even with your small
asset
team, you can make a game look AAA.
You want to know? You want a little easy shortcut to find those secret collectibles? You want a map to find the secret? Spend $7.95 to get the secret map. The secret
talk about
map.
the freaking asset flippers. Ubisoft. They're
The
good at
friggin-
using assets in all their games.
But well, you
over
look at
and over
early on with Ubisoft, where you could earn the currency in game, and you could like go to like the random market, be like, oh, this is a literal secret. You'll be able to find the thing. So you could like, this is where they reveal all the feather locations or the scroll locations, and it's like, you want to know the feather or scroll locations? Pay $7.95, and you'll be able to find that. It's like,
Valhalla now has that pay to like get ahead thing. Like pay you $10 and you'll
fixed
go up
currency.
your levels and level
Oh,
cap.
no.
And
Yeah, no, that shouldn't be a thing.
it's a single player game. You don't need to.
No,
that's what
yeah,
the
exactly. You don't need to do that shit. And it's like, if they're implementing it, you should just be like,
That's the worst. That's what I see is the worst for microtransaction. Is it's single player. Why are you paying to boost your levels for one? Boosting to find objects, like paying for cheat codes in a way, like
But
I like
it's a
I'm
thing.
unbearable to a point. Like and the fact that they got like you're paying for like decals and stuff. Like I end
I'm
up doing
down
that
for
a couple of times.
microtransactions
No,
in single player games, but make the DLC free.
Yeah,
But they're paying for DLC and these skip things. Like, if you got the DLC, take out the microtransactions. Just play the damn game. It's not like it's gonna be online and like jump ahead of the player. So
exactly.
the NPCs don't move when you're not playing. Like,
half the problem is, like, they probably don't want to put those certain microtransactions in the game, but it's because,
It's the
there's
publisher.
shareholders that turn around and say, well, we've put in this amount of money into the game, and it looks fantastic, but we need a guarantee that we're making so-and-so amount back, and not just by this time frame. It's
Yeah,
like
but-
consistently over time.
they're getting too greedy with their games.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. They think everything's like, fucking
Nothing's a
like
cash
a
cow.
multiplayer game with like a cash cow. They think it's like an EA sports game where it's like they're just gonna buy those crates all the time, right? That we can get this amount all the time, right? And with that stupid expectation, by implementing like even the most ridiculous, microtransactions, is ruining what games are. It's you're
Exactly.
not playing it for the fun of it. Now you're playing it because you have a bigger wallet than someone else.
Which makes sense. I mean, it does make sense in a single player game because you're paying to get ahead of a game with only you in it.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
pretty much wasting money just to finish a game.
yeah. It's,
But yet there's Rocket League, which I do spend money on Rocket League because A, it's not pay to win. You get to have the skins and the wheels all for your
I
cars.
mean, it is some of the stuff is a bit excessive in price, but you're actually getting it. Like
You don't have to buy
yeah,
it. Like, you
but
don't
for
have to have
doing it for a single player game, it's like throwing a birthday party. Like it's like you're a rich kid throwing a birthday party for yourself, and you're the only one
Yeah.
attending.
yeah,
That's essentially what it is. It's fucking no point. Just
so that's the difference where Fortnite's getting a bit sketchy. But no, like there's some skins now where they've got a bit
Oh,
carried away. They're just
okay.
making skins the way they want to.
Yeah, we'll just
And
yeah, let's go. Yeah,
They're
budget.
getting very it's very pay to win. It's ridiculous. Like it's the size bulk characters. Some characters are skinnier than others. Some characters are nice and bulky, and it's just like the hit markers are different. Like you've got all these extra things. It just makes no sense at all because it's legit near on pay to win. Like your colors, you can.
One eternity later.
Are you done yet? Is Fortnite over?
I had to take a toilet break.
Yeah. We got 2 hours again.
I don't pay to win. I play to win, not pay. Like,
and that's and it gets crazy where some stuff like I was making a point like pay to win's getting like things aren't pay to win. Some stuff are getting pay to win, and it's very broken. Where most games are starting to get that way, especially with how they're designing certain things, and then they're like, oh. We're going to have to redact that. It's just like, well, we shouldn't have made it like that in the first place. You should have realised things were going to be a certain way. And it's getting that grey area where if you know the right thing to buy when they make something, it is technically pay to win. Because, like I said, some character models you'll find in most games can be super skinny. Some can be bulkier. And, of course, hit markers. Like, whatever you play, if you've got a bulkier figure, of course you're going to be allowed drop tip. Like, I feel like
you're hitting the Hulk. The Hulk, like, has the big mass. And you're shooting the side of him and not hitting him.
Like... You're gonna hit him, like you clearly like if you're
make him the hitbox, like well, the hit mark, not the box.
Like I do say a little bit to it, like there's no pay to play advantage with Rocket League. Like you definitely if you've got like the bus or like the Ford, it's a little bit higher, but there's no advantage. Like the speed's the same, the flip's the same, rotation's the same.
It's
the only thing changed is just a hitbox, and that's realistically there's no advantage. People might go, oh, you got a big hitbox. Not really. You can still that makes you more likely to even fuck up. Like.
No, because you've seen it. My Ford, it hits the front of the car, but it doesn't hit to a certain point.
So they've balanced it out to a certain degree, but
fair.
They're keeping it that nice ratio, which is maybe just a little bit, and it's not going to make much difference. So
if that Ford, if that was the whole hitbox, man, that'd be a big hitbox.
Oh yeah, and that's the only thing I've really seen. I think they're out of the most, like, definitely the bus, but they kind of keep that ratio because there are bigger cars, but they keep it balanced. Yeah. But there's a lot of games that have these, and they're very sketchy across games. So. I know it's going to be in that grey area where things like that are going to start getting that way, where you'll start seeing maybe again more, and then tourneys like for different games we'll have to ratio.
You need more and more microtransactions.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, I'm going to use this character. I'm like, well, this character's disqualified from these certain things.
I mean, COD's pay to win because you can get good guns when you pay for them.
Like the schematic, you get the blueprints or whatever it is. You can actually get decent blueprints that are
even get the guns out of the past and stuff. Like those guns are usually better than the base gun.
Well, that's exactly it. There have been some guns that you can only get in the past that you can't get from unlocking. It's just like why you're forcing people to buy your pass. You're giving out like a decent blueprint, or if not a new weapon that's not even introduced. Like I guess it's giving you early access, which therefore does give you an advantage. Over other people, and it's just like, well, you want the game to be fair. You want people to play your game. You need to keep it fair.
Remember Modern Warfare 2? Everything you had to unlock in game. Modern Warfare 2.
That made you play. Like that actually made you play. Like you actually earned it. You actually felt you earned, not just like these stupid tier passes which are broken.
I kind of. I mean,
that's one thing they need to fix for Call of Duty.
But give us paid DLC. Stop the microtransactions.
Well, actual like when you pay for DLC, get DLC.
Yeah, I want proper DLC, not like a pack that gives you a bunch of skins and a new gun. That's not DLC. That's
microtransactions.
Yeah, that's a microtransaction.
I mean, game DLCs weren't really a thing back when we were kids, really, were
they? They kind of were. Like well, I remember back in the days, like when you got Halo and like Halo 2, where they didn't just. But that's the thing. Like when they released it on a disc. It's like you can buy the map disc pack if you want to expand and get the new maps. Buy the disc and install it. But you actually got like a whole case. You got a whole thing that you installed. Like it was actually a physical copy of something. And that's the only thing I could really stand with buying as DLC is actual story expansion or maps. Like that's
the only reason these maps are free, like the content packs, is because of the microtransactions. Like, I'll give me the pay for the maps.
Well, there's that flub up they did. Was it with Black Ops 4 where like they had a thing and then they like the thing that ended up just releasing everything free. I think it was.
Oh yeah, the freaking blackout and that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's blackout, but then they end up like releasing like some of the maps and stuff they end up doing because of whatever. They're like, oh, here's this all like, but like there's people that had the season pass that actually were paid for the DLC for the multiplayer maps. They're like, oh, we're just going to give it to everyone. It's like, so that made that null and voided. Like
it was because Modern Warfare was coming out, and they're like, just let them.
You gotta bumped it up.
Oh my god, that's metal.
Yeah, that was really loud.
Oh no.
My hand was cold already, and that's made it worse. But I think not everything went free. It was
No,
You
they
know,
end up,
to get every weapon and stuff, which
I can't remember which one it was, but one of them did it, and they just end up being like the season pass. Basically, they gave it out for free, and everyone got the zombie maps, the bloody multiplayer maps. So just like here, just everyone having it. So it's like, wow, that's
yeah,
great
that was
for.
Black Ops 4. But
Thanks
like,
for like I bought the season pass to be feel exclusive to get it, but because no one barely bought it, they're like, oh, we need more people to play
that
it.
game was expensive because there was no single player.
Yeah.
That game was
Yep.
just all multiplayer. Like,
Yep.
it should have just been a free game, really.
I just remembered when back in the day when DLC was like classified also as an expansion pack.
Hmm.
So it was when you paid for DLC, you didn't just get like a whole bunch of like new weapons, new armor.
It was actually a map or a
whatever
story.
else. It was actually a new map, or at least something new in the
Like Doom,
current map.
like Doom's doing, where you're actually getting a whole
yeah.
story, like you're getting
whole
actual.
extra story. Yeah, exactly. Added onto it. It was like, you know, let's say a classic
Ow.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion or
I just
something.
had button. I just had
Oh
button.
god. that you wouldn't just get like, you know, and you'd get an extension of the
It's like microtransactions
map,
these days.
like a whole new area to go to. It was like an extension of the game. It wasn't just like, here you go, here's some new armor, here's a new weapon. Done. And it's like, that's not a DLC. That's
Yeah.
not.
The DLC is content, not skins.
Yeah, yeah. And content isn't skins, it's part of the content, part of the expansion.
It's
A
like
part of an expansion.
it's like
not the whole expansion.
Like the best way I'd say would be like here's like okay, it's a special edition. Like here's say for example, here's the content, here's the deal.
Just had
like,
that sitting there, like.
it's on my desk under here. So basically, it's like
Are you sponsored by anyone recently? No.
no.
Xbox? No.
I don't have all the Xbox games I've been pulling out.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, this one's recently been on Xbox.
So it's like-
Online,
it's
if you'd
like-
to play it.
How it's come now is like how it used to be is like you got the game, like you say, for people that are a bit dumb, to that some people really get confused with going through. So it's like here's the game, you buy the DLC, which this is DLC, here you go. Not this microtransaction crap to dumb it down for everyone. It's like, oh, you know, this is what you start off with. You're starting off with basically that. Like, oh, here's your you want some microtransactions? Oh, here's the pamphlet. That, you know, it technically should have been with it, but, you know, we're going to have that with. Oh, you know, the stickers, you know, that's part of the thing. Oh, you know, that's like another $2. You know, there is a case, but that's going to cost you another $3 for the case. You know,
I see where you're going to, where basically you're not getting the full package.
Yeah.
All they've done is grab the entire whole thing, they've taken chunks out and said, this can be the DLC, and it's like, no, that's part of the main storyline, it's integral.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there could actually be a bit of DLC.
Well, a good example of a modern one, Far Cry 5. And then you got the add-on, New Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, technically,
That's pretty much a DLC.
That's a DLC because it was
the
the
smart
same
thing
map.
they did about that though, they didn't actually charge a full price for that game. They was actually reduced in
No.
price.
But like, but still the same thing. That's a DLC.
It's,
That's,
it's
an add-on.
an expansion,
Yeah,
a single standalone expansion.
Like, it just
Which was why
Ubisoft
it was
done it
very
so
quick
bad.
for it to be released right afterwards.
what about
It's
a year later, wasn't it? or so?
Yeah, it
That-
was a year
that's-
later.
and
And normally
that's-
Far
yeah.
Cry takes a couple of years.
And that's proper expansion. And I guess that's the only thing that's really modern that we've got as an actual expansion pack that's actually physical as well, and it's standalone on its own thing. Like we haven't seen anything
But I'll
like
go
that
back
in a
for
long
$20.
time.
That's cheap for a whole. It is like a 20-hour game, isn't it, or something? So it's a bit
Which is
bigger.
not bad.
Pretty
For a
big,
game
pretty
that
big.
takes
bigger
20
than
hours
a-
to play.
How big was Far Cry 5? How big is that supposed to be?
Fucking big.
Because that took me a fair few while. New Dawn's about half.
I'm
that
gonna
to close
Google
that.
that.
It's pretty big. Like I've spent a fair few hours in that game and I still haven't done a
In
lot.
New Dawn, or
Yeah, New Dawn. Because the whole map, it's the whole thing.
it's more than a DLC, really. Like it's officially a DLC.
It's the whole map of 5. You get the whole map of 5, but it's just modified. It's all post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking for mine. Mine's right here.
All the Far Cries.
I mean,
Is that Primal in there as well?
yeah, the Far Cry main story, Far Cry
Primal.
5, is 23 hours.
Far Cry
Also,
2 was awesome. Far Cry 2
If
was
you want to do the whole thing, it's 110.
They got even better.
They
I
got the
can't
New Dawn
wait for the next Far Cry, I do have to say. I've played
New
all
Dawn
the Far
length
Cry and Primal.
is 20 hours. Hey, what a guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, up to 30.
Why are
20
they
to-
wet? Why is there moisture between these cases?
because it's probably the humidity.
Yeah, there's a lot of moisture.
Yeah, I'd say humidity.
But yes, that's all my Far Cry games sitting there,
So just think,
all on
in
Xbox.
those 2 games, roughly 130 hours.
I'm sorry, I don't have. I don't have a console, so I can't just magically bring up games.
Oh my
It's
god!
like,
It's like
I'll bring up a portable hard drive, and will that be equivalent of my
You just want to put a
boasting?
picture there and just.
give me
I have 5,000 games on here
a
on my
360
portable
game.
hard drive.
Give me a 360 game.
Whoopsie.
Give me a 360
How
game.
big that is, actually.
Do you know any 360 games?
360 games? Do I know any?
You should do. 360.
I've
Left 4 Dead.
yeah, Left 4 Dead, Halo
Fable.
series.
Where do I even start? Left 4 Dead 1 and 2.
Oh, God.
Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Yeah, I own those games.
Did we say Halo? We got them right here on their own little segregated shelf. Did we say Fable?
Yeah,
Which copy-
Fable
which
1 and
copy?
2.
Which copy? I got 2 copies of Ow. I got 2.
Copies of Owl.
I got 2 copies. I got Game of the Year and I got the limited edition. Another thing they fucked up on the Fable 2 limited edition, where they promised to give you a goblin statue, which they never fulfilled because they were like, "Oh no, we couldn't manufacture them."
I don't know. Gaming's become. It's good and bad still.
It is good and bad.
Any other
I'm feeling at the moment that it's the same thing.
Any other games you want to mention? Any other
Yeah.
Any other games you can think of you want to request?
We're not praising the right developers. Like, we're not praising, like, let's say, Naughty Dog should have got praised instead of being shit on. But, let's say, like, Sony Santa Monica, God of War, they got praised, but no one's playing the game still. Like,
They're one-off. Well, I guess because because it's story, it's single player. You play it, you're done, you move on.
it's
So-
still, it's like $20 now. Like, play it.
You've got this, and that's like so. You got the things. So you got the single player. You play it, you're done. Are you going to come back to it? Especially if you 100% it. If you 100% it,
Player
like I
myself.
say, I love single player. So if you're going to give single player, not just like in this day and age. If you're going to have single player, not just like, oh, here's a 9-hour single player campaign. Like, no. Like, actually give a substance, like, massive... Like, if you want people to play your game and keep talking about that game, you need it to be not too long, but long enough where people are actually keeping on the game and wanting to keep playing it, so they're going to talk about it, so they keep coming back and playing it. I guess you're not making much money.
In 60 hours, I think.
Like, I can
which
kind
isn't
of...
long.
Like, I can kind of understand to the point now where... Okay, yeah, the game's $60 or $70, $80, whatever. You buy that.
Yeah.
It's single player. You know, it's 100 hours. You play that. They're not making any more money. I can understand the companies want to make that little bit extra more money these days. But then the fact you got these games which are free. Okay, they go free, so it makes more. They go, oh, well, it's free. Yeah. It's a bit more reasonable to do microtransactions. But then you got like a skin, like it's $25 in Fortnite, or a Rocket League Gold for $30, and people are buying it.
Just
but then
think,
that adds up
how
multiple
much
times.
money you've spent on Fortnite? Like, probably in the thousands.
Yeah.
Probably 1,000
Yeah.
Yeah, most probably.
on one game.
I think
Buying
you
those
probably
there-
spent more than that.
Buying those cases alone, buying 5 copies of that was at least 100 because that was $20 each or $25.
Fucking hell.
$20 each, roughly. Got it.
For a free game, just with a few V-Bucks.
Yep. And imagine all those kids. All those
Yeah.
kids
Oh,
playing
yeah.
it. All those kids buying it.
If you're
like FIFA,
spending
though.
if you've spent $1,000 so far, imagine how much other people have used. There's like
Yep.
gacha. You guys are familiar with gacha games, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how there's players sinking like over $1,000 up to $7,000 into the game. One player put $7,000. Imagine that. That's another big money making right now. It's exactly the same kind of premise. You've got gacha games, you've got Fortnite. It's just
And that's the big
big
thing.
money making.
And that's why
endeavors.
multiplayer is a thriving thing at the moment, is because people keep coming back, they keep dragging on the games,
They
keep
got more
chucking
money
new
than
things to draw
spent.
people in, and that's why they have these
Yeah.
battle passes. They keep squeezing in battle passes as much as they can because it's easy.
Like-
people go, oh yeah, that's easy. That's only $15, or
Yeah.
for Americans it's like, oh, it's only $10 or $9. It's,
Yeah.
oh, and realistically, it seems like small, but you add that up with how many users are buying it. That's
Yeah.
big bucks. You've got like, well, work out.
Don't
like,
get me wrong. I play Warframe. Warframe has plenty of microtransactions, and I've done it. like I've done microtransactions in games. Who has it at least once, or at least some form of that where they've gone, oh, like I've enjoyed the game. I've got it for like, let's say if I've got it for free, and it's kind of, you're paying like
free,
putting money into it.
They deserve it. Like,
Well,
exactly.
Well,
if it's like, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, oh, okay, well, sure, Fortnite, it's a free game. You're putting money into it. You've enjoyed the game, etc., etc. But when it starts to get a little bit too excessive, a little bit too much, $1,000 or so.
I got to make very wise decisions when I spend money on Fortnite. It's like, do I want this skin or do I want that skin? Like, do I really need it? Like,
in saying that right now, technically, you could sell your account for a lot more than $1,000.
What I've actually spent on it, I could actually.
But what you've spent on it, and what you actually have in your account, you could spend. I know that you can spout off all the skins that you have. And if you put that up on the market and said, I'm going to sell my account for like,
people would go mad for it. People would
maybe ridiculously like $10,000.
I wouldn't say
I would not be surprised if someone said, "Yep, I'll buy that for $10,000."
From like season 3, because of season 3 being an old season, you can't get those skins. Yeah, like people will go mad for it because they're skins you cannot get. Like it's like the whole collector thing, the whole trade, like that's kind of in a way why I get a bit trapped, because I'm like kind of buying up, collecting them, but it will get to a point where the game will come null and void and everything's going to be dead and everything we spent means nothing.
Well, that's like
pure entertainment.
That's like buying a car and it runs you drive it until it's eventually a heap into a ground. It's like,
it does its
driven until the wheels fall off. It's like with anything else. You put money into it, you've enjoyed it while you did. And, but it's kind of like, it's saying that life is kind of too short where, you don't want to put too much into it when there's so many other things out there, like the same amount of money that you could have spent and went, oh, okay, I could have bought this new game that came out as well, and I know it's good because I've tried the demo, and this is great. Or it's like, I could have spent that money and bought the DLC for this game because this is actually an expansion to the game, like a whole new level, rather than doing this. But
that's what I got Dale trapped on. I'm like, this game, it's so cheap, and then he gets it.
Yeah. But that's exactly it. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to get at the point with that. Is like definitely like I'm always I'd rather, if I could buy, like if I'm going to buy the skin, I'd rather buy a game that I can get for the exact same price. Like why would I spend $30 on a skin when I could buy a game that's going to give me like 5 to 10 or 20 hours of play? Like unless it's something that's.
But
really,
I do say at that it might be one of those situations where we're like I'm saying like, don't get skins for Fortnite, and then you'd be like, but after all this time, I just sold my account for like $30,000. Yeah, who knows? Because like I said, you've got every single skin up till now.
Basically,
That's my understanding.
That's kind of why I keep playing the pass, and I keep kind of in a way buy the passes to get to level 100. So then I've actually got the skins from that season, and I've got all these things there that no one else can get, because if you didn't play from an early on point, you don't have that skin unless you're like me that's had that skin, and that's why people have these issues of their accounts being hacked and people stealing accounts and stuff, is because people want those skins. People have
this account. Gents with all these fucking shiny skins and
because he's like max levels and stuff like that. He really gets out there. Like he had all the ults, like the super rares, and
he's probably got every freaking
like
skin.
The way they've done skins for Fortnite is like collecting Pokemon cards basically. You got to grind for it. You actually got to put the grind effort in, but you got like your rares, your ultra rares, your shine. You've actually got things like that for skins. Like unless you've grinded out, you won't get that extra rare skin. So,
well, that's the thing. Like I've done. If you could put a monetary price on your account, how much do you think it would be?
God,
like for your Fortnite account, like with all the skins, everything like that. One game. This is just one game comparison, because I did like you can assess your Steam wallet and assess all the games, how much it's worth. And I'm like over like $10,000 or something like that. That's how much. No. That's how much all the game. That's how much my Steam library is worth. It's like $10,000 or something. So that's just games over time. That's also getting like, for example, going on Humble Bundle and grabbing a game for like $2. Like right now, there's Stellaris on there for like $1.20, but the base game, if you bought it on Steam right now, it's like $60. And then it came, and also if you spend $20 of Humble Bundle, you'd get all these DLCs, and essentially if you had all the DLCs of that game plus the base game, it would be like $250 for $20. So I got a lot of deals like that, and because of also reviewing for MKU, there's a lot of games on there which like just added up over the years where I've just got bundles. That's why it's like over 10 grand, my Steam bundle.
Yeah.
That's all the games. But in comparison, like how much is your one single game monetary worth?
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly
do you
it.
think how much it is? Because
That's like my damn Rocket League.
yeah. It's
Same thing with those things, like for certain skins you can trade, like gold
So I've
expansion.
bought not so many things, but I bought a lot of keys back in the day, a lot of crates.
Yeah. But I'm just asking, how much do you think it would be worth?
It could be worth a fair bit, because I've got skins from the start of Season 3, like Chapter 1, Season 3, that these are skins you're not going to get unless you play that. Like, there's a lot of...
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of value, I guess, to that, to a degree, because
What about any other limited day, one-day skins? Like, skins that were like, this is it, and then they never showed them ever again. You got a lot of them?
There's been a few that have been items in the store that have never come back again. Yeah. There's things like that. There have been times where they've actually been dropping. See, that's the problem too. Sometimes I'll change the value of something because I'll have a thing that was in a pass. Pretty rare though, because they've been like Season 2 passes or whatever it is. Like, and I'll have stuff come over because I never got any of those. But I've bought a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say I own everything, but I could feel like I could almost.
Yeah.
Like, I've been very wise about what I've been spending on.
So you'd say probably easily maybe, let's say on the rarity compared to what's out there.
About $5,000 easy.
Yeah,
possibly more than that. I'm
thinking more, because if it's Season 3, if you had a lot of Season 2 and Season 1 stuff, you could easily say well over like 10 grand.
Well, Season 1 and Season 2 didn't have much. That was the thing. There wasn't much skins. Skins weren't drastically introduced until Season 3 with the passes. So yeah, it was basically.
So essentially, you do have from everything at the start.
It's basically like Season 2, maybe more when they actually started implementing like more skins, because they had Raptor, but then Raptor got released as a skin you could buy, so it kind of null and voided it a little bit. So I never got him, but yeah. But most of it started from Season 3, so I've got everything since Season 3. I've had every pass. I used to buy. At one point, I bought nearly every character that was in the store, almost to a degree.
That's not bad. That's pretty good on my account.
I've got like 70 characters, skins. I've got 70 skins on.
That's not bad.
You've seen the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been going for 2.5 hours.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, I gotta pee.
We've been going for a while. It's just gonna be one of those episodes. This is gonna be the episode with the extended episode. I'm just gonna mostly just put the whole thing up on Spotify. It's gonna be one of those extra long. It is what it is. We just deal with it. We had that whole cut up with the last episode.
Should we wrap it up and have like a quick break and then come back and?
It's a trap when we got guests.
Well, we got this. This is my headset's telling me to recharge. So, but what was it? Well, something I was thinking of.
Give them like a little sneak peek of this is where the zany stuff happens.
Yeah, so this is we've got an extra long episode. We could have a break and then come back and continue going if we wanted to. I mean, we could do whatever the hell we want. We just hang out and just talk. Like, do you want to
stream?
You got to stream. Well, actually, yeah, true. It is 11. It's 12 o'clock. You do have to stream. So we could just start wrapping it up, and then this is the whole episode. No bonus episode. This is just the whole one. Maybe do a special for Spotify. Everyone can listen if they want to go too.
A bonus at the end, really?
Well, I don't even know where to cut off. We didn't even wrap it up. We didn't even do the wrap up. After that. So this is just going to be an extra long episode. They're going to get the whole thing raw. I mean, it doesn't matter. They've already listened to the whole thing way through.
Right?
Well, if I really want to get something raw, topsy-turvy. No.
It is what it is, but we've just talked about all kinds of stuff.
Something really, no.
We're getting up there with that Joe Rogan.
Oh no.
Roe Jogan.
I'm not going to do my
Roe Jogan length.
Roe Jogan. Jamie, pull it up. Pull it up, Jamie.
Oh,
let's start talking about the lizard people. The lizard people really ruling the earth.
Ruling the earth.
Ruling the earth.
Lizard people.
The putty's a trap, like 3 hours nearly.
Oh yeah, it's getting on. I do it.
Time just flies by.
Hey!
I don't know. It's one of those crazy things.
Yeah.
Like, I was just thinking, like, is it really 12?
Yes, it is.
It's like, wow.
Well,
mean,
it's 12 for
11.
you. It's 11 for us.
Soon to be 11.
Yeah.
Another couple of weeks. I'm back on normal time. Well, used to be on my time again.
What else are we going? Are we wrapping this up because I really need to take a quick break, if you know what I mean.
I guess. I mean, they'll have to cut it off. He has to watch the whole thing, or not the whole thing, but come backwards.
Backwards. Oh no.
Well, where did he go? Where the hell did he go?
We'll wait till he comes back. I'll wait till he comes
yeah.
back, and then we'll just cut it off, and then because you got to stream it.
His mic's going off, so he must be near it.
Maybe he's like,
Oh,
I should have given. He's saying in the background. I should have given candy. Yeah. Is it the fan?
Below it.
Below it. He's passed out on the floor.
He's just done.
Yeah, he's just,
Too much
it's like,
fun.
no. It's like, no. This is the wrong podcast. No.
Podcast. Oh, fuck.
Podcast.
They got Timmy.
No Timmy! No Timmy down the well! No Timmy down the well!
Timmy's down the well, put the lotion on the skin and put it in the bucket. Timmy's down there for a long time. Timmy, put the lotion back into the bucket and I'll pull it back up.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long episode. It is what it is. We'll just have to deal with
It is. I
I'll
mean,
deal with
I
it.
just got concerned. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I didn't realise we get caught up. We get caught up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
for ages.
I was going to tell him, oh damn.
last
we're
night,
play
I
some
told
games.
people it'd be an hour and a half.
No, you should not realise it's not going to be an hour and a half. You should know that by now.
Well,
This-
Or I could cut up and be like part 1 and continue for part 2. I don't know. Or just leave this one for like...
Yeah, just
do the outro.
People watch for the whole near 3 hours. That's the thing.
Oh, who knows? They put a small amount of effort in the other ones. If they want to watch, it's cool. Thank you.
There really appears your head does.
Oh, I'm getting loopy because it's getting late.
Yes.
No, but you're saying too, like you had the one beer. So I've had more than one.
Where'd I start? Where'd I start when I was drinking this?
This is my last drink.
I've no idea.
Was it up here?
Yeah, it was up there. Give or take. Yeah.
It's now down to here.
Yeah. I'm onto my last one of the 6-pack, and I've already had some
whiskey?
black whiskey.
I'm like halfway through my Pepsi thing. Oh no, more than halfway. I'm down like the here.
I'm getting random messages now like, hey, you want to play Stellaris?
Stellaris.
You want-
Who's playing
Hey,
Stellaris?
Are they watching the potty already?
No. I'm literally just getting messages right now from
What are you streaming?
me. What, Jim, what are you streaming?
Who are you
I-
talking to?
I don't know.
He's like, what are you streaming?
We're finishing this up because I'm on my last beer, and I still got hard whiskey after this.
Yeah, we'll
I mean,
wrap it up. I'll leave it to Jim to wrap it up.
There you go.
All right, cool. Well, bye.
But as always, thanks for joining us on episode 11, and thanks for Wookie. Thanks to Wookie for coming at such short notice.
Very short notice. It's like, quick, go get some alcohol. You're gonna be on camera. I'm like, I don't think those two things mix. But
Are
what
you
the hell?
saying you need alcohol to have fun with us on camera?
No.
It's just the weekend.
Just the weekend.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel. It's the weekend.
It was just like, oh well, if I'm gonna be on camera, I'm gonna make it goddamn interesting.
How many beers
no,
do you have?
plus, if you want Ricky Gervais to be back, that's the only way.
Oh, it may be a regular almost. We might have a regular third. Who knows yet?
Oh no.
3 hour. We're gonna prepare for the 3 hour long.
Yeah, I'm like,
Turn him into an alcoholic.
No, we'll
I
start winding
only
these down.
drink when I'm with yous. It's one of those I only drink when I'm with yous guys situations.
We'll start working them out to make them shorter somehow. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
No,
I think
no,
we'll
no,
time
no.
something.
It's not
Put
gonna
down
happen.
the 2 hours.
You know deep in your heart, in your soul, you know when deep down it's the dark side that you fear. But
I need to start grabbing beer for these now. Then if Wookie's in,
Yeah.
you need to get one of the blackened whiskey bottle.
Oh, I know the grog thing.
Oh, so good.
I feel like the link. I'll definitely get that and the oil one.
Do you want to finish doing that outro? By the way, you only half finished.
We'll continue.
We get distracted here.
Wookie for joining us such short notice, all because of Daz. But it's been episode 11. It's been fun. Got carried away a little bit, but it happens. And we've been Dale and Jim and Wookie. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
With love.
Oh, for fuck.
With love.
Oh, fuck!
Oh my god, please keep that in. Please keep that bit in. Keep that bit in. I'll watch YouTube at work if you keep that in. I'll find a way.
Oh, fuck.
What did you actually do?
He went for the fingers, and then he hit his hand on the mic at the same time.
Oh.
That's like when you hit yours.
These things are lethal. Dave's got the exact same one.
Oh,
They're
no.
fucking horrible.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
God.
Oh no!
Oh, fuck.
You need one that comes across, not out.
Alright, I need to